So what are we leading into? Does it start right with the Super Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. I'm coming out there real quick.
What does Steven say?
He's calling me right back.
Okay. Well, even if he comes in...
Where the fuck am I going?
I don't know what you're doing. What do you need? Just tell me.
I need to get it up there and loud for you.
I don't need it loud.
Well, I need to pull it up. Come on, you. Come on.
Okay, we got this.
I know. This needs to be in a new frame. It's all crooked. How did that happen?
Vin Diesel. Look at him.
I know. Look how old that thing is.
That's really cool.
He likes this weird old shit. Whatever. It's endearing. This is bothering me because it's crooked.
Hey, we can hear you.
You can hear me talking?
Yeah.
Oh, we can hear you guys.
Hello.
Shit.
Yes.
Fuck.
Minutes. Yeah. There we go.
Just leave it.
Oh boy. Someone posted there. All right, buddy.
Let's do it.
Let's go. Oh, I hope.
All right, 2 minutes. Can you go?
I'm sure it's a delay. Yeah, I can hear that. There should be a delay.
All right, guys, we're going to go live here in about 2 minutes. 2 minutes. What's going on, Sports Mafia fans? And we are here with the first live show ever, February 28th, 5 o'clock.
We got my boy Carson. What's going on, man? You ready for this, dude?
Let's get it.
Dude, it's the first show, man. This is going to be super exciting. So, guys, check this out. We are going to be starting it off big and off right. We are going to knock this out with some football talk first. Now, this is going to be very, very exciting.
Yeah,
we're going to be talking about everything. So, Chester, what's going on, man? I see you in the chat. What's going on?
Hey, Chester, what's happening, buddy?
All right, my man. All right, let's run it on through, guys. So, Super Bowl winning. Who won?
Who won?
Yeah, who won the Super Bowl, man?
I'm pretty sure the Rams won the Super Bowl.
Are you sure it wasn't Cincinnati? All right, man.
I wanted Cincy to win.
Dude, I thought Cincinnati was actually going to take it just because of that defense. That defense was amazing.
They played really well that night.
I mean, 2 interceptions.
They showed up.
I mean, 2 interceptions, man. Come on now.
Listen, it wasn't the greatest game of all time. Let's just get that all the way.
Yeah,
but
it wasn't.
Man, if Odell doesn't get hurt there, we're talking about maybe a blowout in that game.
Man, that ACL tearing was super, super, super rough.
It was very sad.
It was. It was, man. I mean, he had 2 receptions, 52 yards, and a touchdown, which was really nice for him. I mean, he hasn't had over a 100-yard game since 2019 after he had all those fights and stuff with the kicking net. But, other than that, he still looks good.
Do you think he won that one?
I don't know, man.
The net or Odell?
I think the net took him out, man.
It was early in his career.
Yeah, man, to be strictly honest. But look, man, so Matthew Stafford had 26 completions with 40 attempts. He had 283 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. What did you see differently in Matthew Stafford than what you would have saw previously from his career with Detroit?
Oh, it's just he's got the team around him finally. Mm-hmm. I would say that's the biggest difference. He was always a great talent.
Yeah.
But, you get the Aaron Donald on your side. Things started looking up a lot better from there,
Von Miller, too, man. Von Miller looked great.
It's a little painful.
Von Miller looked great, man. I got to say
that's a great pickup.
Straight off the rip, Von Miller looked great. I mean, I think we've seen something different in Von than when he played with Denver. I mean, he did win a ring with Denver, though, correct?
Yeah, he got a title.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is his second one, so he already knows what it's all about. But Joe Burrow, rookie gets down, tears his ACL.
Yeah.
Had to get surgery. Now he comes back in his second year.
Blazing.
And he just is throwing some fire out there. I mean, I'm looking at what he did. He had 22 completions, 33 attempts. He had 263 yards. He had 1 TD, but no interceptions. What did you take from Joe Burrow for us to see in the future of him?
Well, in the future, I mean, anything's possible with Burrow. I mean, second-year guy already going to the Super Bowl. Obviously, that is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. It's hard to say. Maybe it's a run where we're talking about Burrow being in the Super Bowl consistently. Mm-hmm. But honestly, I see it more like, it's going to take him a while to get... It might take him a while to get back to that show there.
Right.
He's got the tools. Mm-hmm. He's got the experience now. But, just like back in the day, Marino made it in his first year, never got it back. Never came back. So I'll be really interested to see Cincinnati next year, see how they do. Can they even get back to there? I'm a little bit of a pessimist on that, but,
Well, you being a Seahawks fan, it's a little different.
Nothing against Cincinnati. Why would I?
Well, so anyways, Cooper Kupp had a really good game too. I mean, he had 8 receptions, 92 yards.
Yeah,
that's
fantastic.
He had 2 touchdowns.
He carried them to the Super Bowl.
He carried them to the Super Bowl.
Literally, they couldn't do anything, and it was just like, hey, why don't we just go to our best player? Yeah. And just keep giving it to him.
Yeah, why not?
It's a great strategy.
I mean, after Odell goes down, who else do you have? You don't really have anyone else to throw to. I mean, their running game was crap.
It was real bad.
What the hell? How do you go from having nothing in the game? Mm-hmm. They had, I think, 10 attempts with 28 yards, no touchdowns. That defense held them. That front line held them pretty good.
They did. They did.
When I looked at the Rams, now I saw a defensive side I thought Jalen Ramsey was going to lock down T. Higgins on that pass, but they didn't call the face mask. They didn't call pass interference. They didn't call the face mask. They didn't do anything.
And it's funny. That's the last time that Cincinnati scored.
Yeah. That 75-yard touchdown pass, I think it was, 75, 76.
Right out the gates from the second,
Yeah.
right at halftime right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have Cameron, and then you have Bates, Jesse Bates, who gets that interception in the corner of the end zone. And the game just kind of spiraled. You could just see the momentum. You thought Cincinnati was going to do it. Cincinnati was going to do it. But then what did Aaron Donald do?
I mean, he just took over. He does what he's going to do. I mean, God. Yeah, you have that guy on your team. You're going to go far regardless.
Absolutely. I mean,
He's going to make all your defense look great.
Absolutely, man. I mean,
And then you have Ramsey on that side. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That's why it pains me to say, but they probably have a good shot of getting back next year.
You think that the Rams have a better shot next year?
Possibly, because I think the NFC's down a little, the NFC's down a little bit.
A little bit.
Come on, I mean, like, all the flash, all the bang is over in the AFC right now. Yeah. And I know we're going to get to it a little later about, like, where QBs might be going, but why would you want to go settle up in the AFC right now? You do
bring up a really good point there. I mean, personally, I feel like that the Rams have a lot to communicate with at the end. Mm-hmm. Aaron Donald may want to retire. I mean, a minute 45 left and he saves the game when they're on the 20-yard line. Jamar Chase had a wide open touchdown. Mm-hmm. Again, what I see for the Rams in the later future, I see another Super Bowl contending. Do I see them winning it?
I didn't go that far.
I know, but I see them.
Come on, what's in their way anymore, you know? Dallas with Dak, Dak's pretty good.
They got CeeDee Lamb.
Like,
they got Amari Cooper.
Rate Dak Prescott. Come on, be honest with yourself. He's a B+.
Well,
right? He's great. He'll get you to the playoffs.
Right.
I just don't think he's going to be the guy that ever wins it.
Right.
He doesn't have the moxie. But, you look at the rest of the division, or the whole conference. Mm-hmm. You got Tampa with Tom leaving.
Yep.
Who knows? Who knows? I don't know who they get back.
All right, guys, we have our first person, man. We got my brother coming in. Here he goes.
Hey, what's up?
Steve Kelly!
What's up, dude?
What's going on, man? You're on the show right now, man. You guys, this is my brother, Steven.
What's up, everybody?
So, we're talking about the Super Bowl. And me and Carson were sitting here having a little conversation.
Are you on Skype right now, Dave? Real quick before you start?
No, Steven, you're live on the show.
Hey.
You idiot. Sorry about that, guys, with that brief little interruption.
All good.
So what we have going on right now is me and Carson are sitting here having a conversation about the Super Bowl. We took everything that we thought of the Super Bowl. What were your intentions on the Super Bowl? Who did you think was going to win? How did you feel that Matthew Stafford did after his 13-year career with Detroit? All in all, how did you think the Super Bowl was, Steve?
I thought it was a great game. I mean, especially for people who were watching it. I thought the halftime show, I just want to go and start with that real quick. The halftime show was phenomenal.
Amen.
It was pretty good.
Did you guys like that as well?
Yeah, I thought Mary J. Blige could have stepped it up a little bit.
Right.
I mean, that's just my opinion, though,
Yeah.
Just my opinion. I thought, Snoop Dogg coming out was probably the best thing I've seen. I mean, I want his outfit. That blue and yellow look, and he came out crip walking. He came out with Dr. Dre. I thought 50 Cent was awesome, man. I thought they all were amazing on that halftime show. So,
Yeah, that's great.
I
think the last time we were on, I don't know exactly what day it was, but I think I said the Rams were going to win by 4 to 6 points.
Yep.
They ended up winning by 3.
Mm-hmm.
I did think I thought Burrow was going to go down for a while when he went down on his knee. But he's a gamer. He came right back in and he was ready to go. But definitely everything you wanted to see. I like I said, I think the Bengals are going to be something dangerous if they could get a left tackle. I know Terran Armstead from the Saints is out there available. That could be something to solidify his blind side to make it so he's got a little time in the pocket. Because I know that they show that video of Jamar Chase slipping out, as he's getting sacked, and he's already got Ramsey beat by 10 yards or whatever.
Yeah.
Ouch.
I don't know, man.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't think that Ramsey is the best cornerback in the league right now. I think, don't get me wrong, I think he's a top 5 for sure. But top 2, top 3, top 1, I just don't see it. After seeing his performance in the Super Bowl where it counted the most, I feel like that he isn't that top 5 contender corner. Top 10, sure. But top 5, no.
Easily top 10.
Yeah, easily top 10.
I mean, he scares the lights. I mean, the Rams obviously play with Seattle. Guys, I'm a huge Seattle fan. You know, that's how it is. But
we're sorry.
He shuts down Metcalf just about every time they play. And I would love to have that guy. I would say he's easily top 3.
Yeah, I agree. So,
I also want to say I don't want to base his performance, his ranking based off one performance. It's a big, he's on the biggest scale, of the NFL provides is the Super Bowl, and maybe he had some butterflies. I don't know, but for somebody to be so shut down for so long, and then everybody just to bash him, because Jamar Chase, who is a good receiver, probably going to be one of the greats, in the league, torched him up a little bit. And maybe somebody else got in there and did their business, but, it happens to the best of people, and I just don't base it off of that. I do think he's still the best in the league.
Okay. I like that.
Well, Ramsey's the one walking with a ring,
Yeah, he is. But so are some of the Saints corners as well. I mean, you got a couple of them out there that were top as well.
Yeah, Lattimore's great.
Yeah. I mean, you had Lattimore. Steve, who was the others?
You're talking about top corners?
Yeah, top corners.
PFF rates stuff weird. I'm not going to go through their ratings and stuff because they've got Eli Apple with when targeted allowing a 20-something QBR rating. I'm not going to go through that, but some of the top guys in the league, I know that the Bills corner, he ended up getting hurt. Tre'Davious White, sorry, I couldn't think of his name there for a second. He ended up getting hurt. Stephon Gilmore didn't really play too much up to his half. J.C. Jackson on the Patriots, who is going to be a free agent this year, who probably won't hit free agency. He's probably, up there in the top 3, I would say, just based off of that. I seen a funny stat today. In the past, I think it was 10 seasons or something, maybe a little longer than that. I can't remember exactly. But Richard Sherman was leading the pack with 33 picks. But J.C. Jackson was, at the bottom of the list at number 10. But he's got 25 picks in that amount of time, and he hasn't been in the league that long, So it's just kind of interesting to see that guy. I wonder what he's going to be. The Patriots really do got a good at picking them and developing them,
Right. Perfect, my man. So we're going to move forward now. So Jamar Chase, and this is the most rookie receiving yards, and this is with post-game included. Jamar Chase is at 1,823 yards, followed by Randy Moss at 1,461. Justin Jefferson right underneath at 1,400 even. Then you have Anquan Boldin. I haven't heard that name in forever. Anquan Boldin, I mean, that's insane at 1,377. Then you have Odell at 1,305, who just won himself a first Super Bowl ever. Carson, what do you think about the rookies' time to come now?
Well, obviously, the game's switched around a bit there. The numbers going to go up quite a bit from where they're at. Yeah. We're talking about an extra game. So, the records right now, all of them are going to pretty much fall with an extra game. Mm-hmm. But it's pretty impressive if you're above Randy Moss at any point. Chase, he's got, I know his mentality. I've heard it. He wants to be one of the best of all times. He wanted to set all the rookie records. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's off to a great start, obviously. But yeah. Hopefully keep that going. He's exciting to watch for sure.
Amen. Steve Kelly, what do you got to say about these top 5 rookies in their prime on having the most highest rookie receiving yards for their first year?
It's just more of a passing league now. I just think that things are more so in favor of the wide receivers and the quarterback, and I just think cornerback has a really tough job out there. You can't cover for that long, so that's why it's just really important to get guys up front that can put pressure on the quarterback so he can't, sit there and go through his reads very fast.
Yeah, man. I mean, hey, I agree 100%. I will say this, though. I will say this, and a lot of people get mad at me when I say this, but I think Randy Moss is the best wide receiver to ever play the game. Now, Jerry Rice did have 5 extra seasons than him. But if Randy Moss would have stayed in the league for 5 more, I think Randy would have bypassed all of those receiving records. I mean, Steve, how do you feel about Jerry Rice being the number 1 receiver still in today's league?
I don't know if no disrespect to Jerry or anything, but I do think that he is obviously probably the top 3, and I wouldn't be mad at anybody who said it's like off the top of your head, it's Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, Calvin Johnson. It's those 3. But with that being said, and I'm not saying this because I'm a Detroit native or anything, but I'm going to go with Calvin Johnson. I mean, just that guy, he's, there's something about him. He's built in a lab, you could say, like 6'5".
He's Megatron.
Yeah, dude, it's just
Great
unreal the things that guy did. And I do think that he left a little early in a dysfunctional organization, and it sucks because they do, they tend to burn the good players out quickly. But with that being said, man, I saw Randy. I can't say I've seen highlights of Jerry. I haven't seen him, play. It's a little bit before my time, but I've seen Randy and I've seen Calvin, and I would take Calvin over Randy, I think, personally.
Carson, what do you got to say about that, man?
I got Rice number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, you couldn't cross the middle. You just couldn't. You would get leveled out.
Yep.
It's a bad place to be back in the day. Mm-hmm. And the numbers he put up and the Super Bowls he won, man, it's really hard to argue against him. He was just a athletic freak.
Yeah.
Trained his ass off. You get a chance to go on YouTube and watch how he trained back in the day.
Yeah.
It's effing crazy.
It is.
I have no problems with Megatron being in that list for sure. I mean, just like your brother just said there, man. He's something else physically.
Man, he's a different beast. I will say that. He is a different beast.
Owens is kind of, obviously.
Owens got to be up there.
Owens is up there. I mean, Michael Irving, you got several of them.
Yeah, I just want to put T.O. up there. I just don't know if that would be my top 3 personally. I'm not a player hater if anybody else has got Calvin out of it. Or they got, Randy. Obviously, Jerry is the one solidified in the top 3.
Yeah, I mean, that's 100%.
Randy's in a lot of people's. But I just, me personally, obviously I'm not saying it's because I'm a fan just watching this man. I just don't know if you could get a guy 6'5", 240 pounds that can do the things that he can do. It just doesn't happen.
No, not at all.
It still hasn't happened.
Yep.
It still hasn't happened.
Nope. Well, I mean, I think we're seeing something different in Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. I think that there's something different there. Those guys are just beyond freak of natures. They have speed. They have the lanky arms. They can catch. They can run the routes. I personally think that Jamar Chase is going to have a big season to come, along with Justin Jefferson. I mean, if you look at Justin Jefferson this year, I mean, the guy had well over 1,100 yards receiving, plus with, I think it was 10 or 11, maybe 12 touchdowns, I believe. I mean...
That's with Dalvin Cook being out, off and on the whole season.
Well, yeah.
So, they could show a little more attention to Justin Jefferson, and he still put up numbers.
Yeah, I mean, even when Dalvin Cook is in there, though, he's still getting the same results.
How mad are you if you're Philly?
How mad are you if you're Philly? Woo!
Come on. You could have had that guy. Easily.
Yeah, easily. Absolutely 100%. Now, going on to Tom Brady. All right, Tom Brady's retirement.
The GOAT.
This man played for Michigan. Let's go Wolverines, man. Look, guys, I'm a diehard Michigan everything. I'm a diehard Lions, Detroit everything.
I'm sorry.
He played for Michigan. He played for Michigan. He got drafted in 2000, 6th round, 199th pick. 7 Super Bowls, 10 Super Bowl appearances, 5 MVPs. He still holds every single MVP record for the Super Bowl. Now, my question is this. They're thinking about, the Pats are thinking about trading him away to the 49ers and trying to get Jimmy Garoppolo, is what they're saying.
Tampa.
No, but he went back. No, he's going back to the Pats.
Oh, that's news to me. Do you think more like I go sign him and then let him retire?
Because he wants.
Here that they're talking. They are talking. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
About that 49ers, Dave, and I also did hear something about Miami as well because he's going to be has opportunity to be an owner.
Okay.
Something. I do think he's trying to do things that no one has ever done. to say like, hey, I'm the GOAT and it's going to stay there for as long as you guys are going to live.
Okay. Well, so what my understanding was in what I saw was that he was thinking about going back and playing one more year with the Patriots.
So you know why he wants to go to the 49ers?
So that the Pats can get Jimmy G. So that Tampa can get Jimmy G.
You know his reasoning because of why he wants to go.
Why does he want to go?
He grew up in California.
True.
And when he used to go to, when he was in high school, his parents were just like a driving or a walking distance away from the stadium for where they could watch him play. And I do believe that his parents still live in San Fran.
Yes.
So I think in his eyes, his dream is to go back and play for
the 49ers.
But here's something else. Before he got traded to Tampa, his first place that he wanted to go was the 49ers. The coach, Kyle Shanahan, looked at everything, and he said, I've got, 26-year-old Jimmy G, however old he is. He's between 25 to 27 years old. Let's call it that. And then he says, I got 43-year-old Tom, 42-year-old Tom. I'm going to stick with my young guy, develop him, blah-da-da-da. Not knowing that Tom's going to go and take Tampa to another he's taking Tampa to the Super Bowl and wins it.
Yeah, but he was also going to take Gronk with him, too. So that's another person on a payroll that wants a big lump sum, too. Along with Antonio Brown.
He's gonna get guys there, but I just think that there's nothing left on that 49ers team but a quarterback. There's a couple other teams in the NFL that are like that, I believe, too, and they could do big things. But I think the 49ers, you saw it. They barely lost to the Rams, and then they lost in that Super Bowl to KC. Mm-hmm. And they've been relevant for the last 5 years. They're a good team. They're well coached.
They're a real pain in the ass.
He said
exactly. They might be 10-7 come playoff time, but look where they ended up. So they're a well coached team.
Yeah.
Now they got everything in place, that's for sure. They just need the guy.
Yeah, that's exactly. They need that guy, and I think Jimmy G's held them back for Paul. I hate to say it, but probably at least one of them.
It's Aaron Rodgers' dream place as well. It could have worked. Either one of those guys there, I would probably put the Niners as the favorites coming in.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, 100%. How do you feel, Carson, about Tom Brady? How did you feel about his career developing the way how it did? I personally would have never thought that the 6th-round pick at 199th was even going to be where he's at today.
I mean, no one would have guessed that when it came out. Absolutely not.
Nah,
that's like how legends are born, man.
Yeah, that's true, man.
He's been incredible to watch. I have a love-hate with him. Obviously, I consider him the greatest player of all time as far as football is concerned, easily. Mm-hmm. I mean, he doesn't have anything else to prove if he doesn't want to.
I agree.
But if he wants to go out there and win another one, I'd say Niners are a very safe bet. I don't know. Anything that guy puts his mind to, he's a football junkie. He will figure it out. Oh. And I would say he's leaning, I'm pretty sure he's going to stay retired, but if he does come back out, the Niners would probably be a great spot for him.
I agree 100%. I mean, the guy he's literally 15,000 yards away from 100,000 yards passing. 600.
I agree with that as well. Yeah. I do think he's going to stay retired.
Yeah. I mean, hey, we can only hope, right? We can only hope. Everyone's tired of seeing the GOAT, but I don't understand why people hate Tom Brady so much.
Oh, no.
I mean,
that greatness.
How can you hate? But I've talked to several people that said, I hate Brady. I hate Brady. Why do you hate Brady? You hate winners? But yet your favorite team is Green Bay and all you want is Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers to try to do something? I don't think Aaron Rodgers is even close to doing anything special.
I think it's a mental thing more than anything.
Very true.
Rodgers has all the gifts.
Yeah.
He has all the tools.
Mm-hmm. You have Devontae Adams.
It's more of a mentality when it comes down to winning. And Brady, I mean, we don't have to go over that. I mean, that guy wins when the game's on the line. I was actually shocked that he didn't beat the Rams when they came back.
Yes.
I was just expecting Tampa to go and get there,
Go ahead, Steve.
I do want to talk about maybe him leaving or staying. What's your guys' opinion on that? Stuff that's been coming out lately.
That is coming up here very shortly.
Oh, okay, that's a segment. Okay.
Yeah, man, trust me, but I got this all planned out for us. So, on to the next. John Madden. RIP to one of the greatest coaches, greatest commentator, greatest person known in football history. Steve, tell me a little bit about John Madden and how his career fulfilled us with so many great memories. I mean, he made the best video game for us.
He definitely did that.
He did.
I wouldn't go that far. The best video game, I think NCAA was a little better than Madden. But,
I'm a staunch Tecmo baller.
It's a good ass game. It's a great game. I'll say that. You know, I'm not disrespecting, but I just, you know how Madden is. But with that being said, he did take the Raiders to the Super Bowl. They won it. I don't know exactly how many AFC championships they went to, but he's definitely got, I think, around 7 to 8 underneath his belt. He was way before my time, but obviously commentating was in my era, so you could definitely talk about that. He, just watching and listening to his voice, you could just listen to on the radio. That's just one of those kinds of guys. You don't need the screen, just listen to the voice. And, you just, even with the TV, you see him going over the replays, and he's drawing squiggly lines. This guy's going here. He's going to pass it back this way. Right then he's going to launch it down he's always gets you a little excited. So.
He was, man. Well,
I mean, I loved his commentary with Pat Summerall.
Yeah.
The perfect play-by-play guy, and then Madden was such an awesome commentator or color guy. And then his obsession with Brett Favre was just... I mean, if the internet was back in the day, there'd be a meme made up every day about him.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Donna Gabala said... What? Say it again?
Said Favre could throw a ball through a brick wall.
Oh, yeah. Hey, absolutely. And I, someone in the chat, Donna Gabala said, Madden didn't make the videos. He just put his name on it. Well, he did. But the game was awesome. You remember us playing it when we were kids. We played it all the time.
Yeah.
But
I miss the cart. If your guy gets injured and the cart comes out and hits like 4 other players and knocks them out. I miss that.
It's terrible. It was a terrible. Yes, it was. It was awesome. So, on to the next subject. So we got Aaron Rodgers, NFL MVP. This year, in his career, he has 55,360 yards passing. My bad, guys. I was looking at another slide. 55,360 yards passing. He has 449 TDs with 93 interceptions.
That's the big one right there.
Yeah. Carson, tell us, where is Aaron Rodgers going to be doing? Do you see him staying?
Okay, so I thought about this a little bit. I think there's 4 AFC teams that he could go to, which would be viable. But his best bet's probably just to stay put, in my opinion. But the one I really thought, like, if the Colts want to mortgage their future.
Yeah.
Say you can get Wentz and a bunch of picks back for Rodgers. Now you got him in a dome. If he gets home field advantage, he's got no weather conditions at his age to deal with. Nope. Straight line to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And if they make that deal, you got to consider yourself all in. Sign Devontae Adams. And then you got Jonathan Taylor, a great offensive line, a defense that could...
Marlon Mack, too. He doesn't know what he's doing.
I don't think that's going to happen, but I would say if he's concerned mostly about winning still at this age, that's a spot for him.
Yep.
But, the Niners would be a great spot for him as well, as we
Absolutely,
mentioned.
Yep. I think the Niners would be a best spot for any quarterback right now at this day and age, especially with all the weapons that they have.
What I think is what he needs is kind of where Elway felt. Elway couldn't get over the hump. He went to a lot of Super Bowls and got his ass kicked a lot of times. Then he gets Terrell Davis, and he's got an awesome running game, and it takes a load off his back. And if you can pound the ball with Jonathan Taylor, and you got guys on the wings there, I think that's the best spot for him. I mean, he could go to Denver, and Jerry Jeudy's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that team's ready to do anything special. And you're never Herbert and Mahomes, obviously.
Yeah.
And, Carr's no slouch either.
Absolutely.
The Titans also would be something else that could work really nice if they could pull it off somehow.
Hey, I hear you. Steve, what do you feel about Aaron Rodgers and his future?
I just think that with that being said, I definitely do. He just chokes in the playoffs. The best place he's going to be is where he's set at, and like you had said, I just think you go over to AFC West, and you've got the Chiefs, you got Chargers, you got the Raiders as well. Like you said, all those teams are tough. The 49ers, Seahawks, and the Carter. Oh, not the 49ers.
You can come to Seattle anytime, Rodgers.
Yeah.
And Russell can go to Green Bay, and we'll figure that out later.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
And I definitely think that they get south with the Colts. I don't think that that's a good spot for them either, because I think that the Tennessee Titans, playing them 2 times a year, then you're definitely going to see them for the 3rd time in the playoffs. That's like, let's say you win the first one or lose the first one. I just think that's a trade-off right there.
Absolutely.
Let them go beat up on the division. They got to figure it out, man. Whether it's he wants a ring, if he wants to win, you can't always be like, oh, I want $40 million, $50 million. You got to take pay cuts. You see guys like
Tom Brady.
What he had to do to get 6 rings. And, Rodgers, you want another ring. Take a little bit of money, you'll get it back from the endorsements and
Amen.
Stuff like that after you win a Super Bowl. But I just kind of think that the contract that he's saying is just, I'm not sure what's going on. He's just playing games with them, I think, to try and get what he wants.
I think that's the key point right there.
Yeah.
That division he's in is not very good.
It's dog trash. You have the Lions, the Bears, and the Vikings.
There should be 6 wins. It's just how Brady got to every Super Bowl. He played with a bunch of crap teams all the time.
Only team that's going to compete in that NFC North in the next 2 years is going to be the Vikings, and that's not even going to be, who knows where they're going to be at. You want to see what they're even going to do. I want to see how they're going to be with the new coach and everything. I do think that they've got a lot of talent on that team. I mean, a lot. There's a lot of guys, from Dalvin Cook, to Justin Jefferson, to, the O-line could use some help, but they've got good guys, even on the defensive side, rushing and stuff. So.
Yeah, man. I mean, hey, look.
I do say Jacksonville, another thing with that AFC South division, Jacksonville had a horrible year last year, but I like that hire with Doug Peterson and what he did with Carson Wentz in Philadelphia, and after that, when Nick Foles stepped in. I think that if right offensively, I think that the Jags are going to show people that they're a lot better than what they were last year.
Yeah.
It can't be much worse than Urban Meyer.
No, it can't be.
Detroit in 2024, 2025, they'll be able to compete, but I do think Jacksonville's a little bit closer than Detroit is. They have a franchise quarterback and a franchise running back who did not play. And they've got literally a 1A, a 1B with Travis Etienne and James Robinson. And they've got some decent wide receivers, and they lost a cornerback in the season, C.J. Henderson, in a trade, but they're pretty good at drafting corners. As you saw, they've gotten Jalen Ramsey and another great corner in C.J. Henderson.
Absolutely.
Who's kind of, he's really young, 24 years old, and they traded him away.
Steven, everyone has a better shot than Detroit, my friend.
Hey, everyone has a better shot than Seattle now, damn it. All right, guys, so we're going to...
That's all I'm going to say. I think within 3 years, they can be something if they do the right thing.
Well, all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and take a quick little 10-minute break right here. We're going to close this segment out. When we come back, we're going to be talking about the new coach hire down there in Jacksonville, Doug Peterson. We're going to go ahead and run through it, and we'll be back here shortly, guys. 10-minute break.
Oh my god, so good. It's so good. Okay, the pizza guy's here. Perfect timing. Here's the thing. You need to, people who are commenting, you need to acknowledge that they're commenting. So you're not so saying stupid shit like, quality what you're saying. But your sister doesn't even know that you were watching. Well,
All right, guys, we are back. How's everything going so far?
I feel like we're doing a pretty good job.
I mean, 30
Out the
minutes
gate.
we're in. I just want to go ahead and just run over the chat a little bit with everybody. Heather is telling me that she hates Tom Brady. R.I.P. to Madden. She also says that Aaron Rodgers' hair looks worse than hers.
Oh, come on.
I mean, it's funny. It's funny. Then Donna says, A-Rod is a mess. He can't even keep a woman.
That's true.
That's the best one, I think, so far. That is the best one so far. All
I'm
right.
sure that guy does not have no problems with the ladies out there if he wants.
No, not at all, man. I fully 100% agree with that. All right, guys, so on to the next here. We're going to talk about Doug Peterson. And we're going to go ahead and just talk about his career right now. Now he is the head coach over there in Jacksonville. He started with the Carolina Panthers in 2000 as an assistant offensive coordinator. And now in 2018, he was the offensive coordinator over there for Arizona. He's been with the Broncos, the Chargers. He's been with Carolina for quite some years. But now that he is over there in Jacksonville, Carson, how do you feel that this head coach is going to come in and take over?
Well, anytime you can get an adult in the room after what you just experienced last season, I imagine is an upgrade regardless of who it was. But the guy has Super Bowl pedigree.
Absolutely.
Although when I was looking at the slide there, I don't remember his Charger stint. So I don't think that was going to be a obviously not too memorable right there. But still,
I mean, he was the head coach for 3 years.
I think you could have gotten anyone on the market and probably did a little better than what Urban did. I mean, that guy, if he really just didn't want to ever coach again, he did a great job.
Hey, I understand. Steve, what do you got to say about Doug and his career, and how do you feel that he's going to take over?
I think he's going to do great. I think that a lot of these offensive-minded coaches are going to be the what's it now? I mean, they are trying to get the defensive guys to stop them, but you got to get a really good defensive guy because I just think it's a passing league right now. And I think that you're going to see a lot of points. Obviously it's good for the fans and stuff, but it's going to give D coordinators a headache the night before the game. They won't be able to sleep. But with that being said, I like it a lot. Like I said, I think that with him opening up with Trevor Lawrence, I think that they could do big things down there in Jacksonville. Will it be this year? I'm not sure. I think that it's going to be an improvement from the previous year. They've got a top pick in the draft. They're probably going to go O-line is my thought. After seeing what happened with Joe Burrow, and you got to protect your guys, So it all starts out up front, and they're going to probably draft a tackle or something just to get him some, protection up there.
Yeah. Hey, look, I fully agree. I like their wide receiver lineup, though. I like DJ Clark. They just picked up Marvin Jones from Detroit.
DJ Clark, he's a free agent, so we'll see if he keeps him.
Yeah, that's 100% true. But I do like their wide receiver setup, though. I wish that they would keep Clark. I mean, I love Marvin Jones. I like what he did last year. I like Sonalt as well. I like his little 5, 7, 8 route runs that he does. DJ Clark is normally the deep threat, but he's been running some pretty click strength.
Say shark.
Shark. He's been running some.
Not Clark, it's Chark.
Shark.
Yeah, Chark. He's been running some pretty good slants. And then you got Agnew as well. Agnew's a pretty fast guy. I mean, he ran a 40 at his combine at 4.4. 4.43. And that was a pretty fast guy. And their running back, James Robinson, and they have Carlos Hyde. And as, Steven said, they have Trevor Lawrence. But on that defensive side, Carson, how do you feel about...
Agnew played for Detroit.
Yeah, Agnew did play for Detroit. Carson, how do you feel about their defense and where they should take their next approach for their defense?
I'll be honest, I didn't watch a ton of Jacksonville this year, but if anything, you should probably just start on that defensive line. That's first and foremost, get a good corner. Obviously, I think their issue is probably more with that offense. Yeah. Their game planning last year was garbage. They lost to Houston right out the gate. I don't know how you do that. I don't feel probably as good about that receiving core as maybe how you're feeling about it, but I also, who knows? I just think you kind of just take that last year and just throw it away, and
just start over.
You start over, and you just kind of see where you got after this season. I think they can be a good 6 to 7 win team this year, which would be an improvement. And all you want to see is some improvement, and you want to believe that Lawrence flashes a little bit next year.
Yeah. I mean, they had AJ Boye. They had. Go ahead.
I do want to add on to that. The Jags got 70-something million. I think 70 million and some change and cap space. I think that they'll have plenty of guys to go down there, especially when Florida doesn't have a state tax to dip into the pockets of those fat contracts these guys are going to be getting. So I do think it's a destination that people do want to go, and I do think that the weather and stuff is where people, they like that stuff. That comes in the role. You don't want to be, you can't get people up into the North Place unless you're, New England and places like that, because it's just so dang cold. A lot of free agents don't head up there.
Yeah, hey, I fully 100% agree with you. So the new head coach hires. Chicago Bears got a C+ grading on their head coach.
And these rankings from ESPN, was that it? Where they graded these guys?
Yes, this is how they graded them.
Well, that's a total unknown in my opinion.
Yep.
So who knows?
I mean, so Chicago got a C+ with Matt. They got a C+ with him. Denver Broncos has Hackett with a B. Then you have the Houston Texans that got Lovely Smith, and they got him a D. I think that Lovely Smith should have been a C+. Then you got
a Super Bowl.
Then you got Jacksonville. They got an A-. Las Vegas Raiders just got Jas McDonald's C+. Miami, Mike McDonald B+. Minnesota got Kevin O'Connell B+. The Saints.
Josh McDaniels is a C+.
I disagree with that.
Hang on. I'm not done yet. Hold on.
How dare them?
Vikings got Kevin O'Connell at a B+. New Orleans Saints, Dennis Allen at a C+. Now, this one kind of threw me off. New York Giants got an A- with Brian DeBull.
They must not care for Judge much.
I feel that the Giants got the better end of a head coach. I really do. Don't get me wrong. But when you have Brian Flores, who just got canned for going over 500,
it's unbelievable.
for a winning season. That's technically a winning season, how everybody says it.
Russ to send it to the Big Apple?
No.
I think any team on this list probably should have grabbed him.
Yeah. I feel like that.
I think he's probably the best hire that you could have made this offseason.
Yeah.
But if I'm looking at this list, I think Josh McDaniels is the best one, in my opinion. They gave him a C+.
And they gave him a C+. Steve.
I wouldn't say he's the best, but I do think that he's up there in the top. I mean, he's never been a head coach. 1, 2. I do want to see how he is going to do. And there's just, a lot of distractions out here in Vegas. And, I think that the team, it's kind of like they got to rebuild. You don't know what they're going to be doing with Derek Carr. Is he staying? Is he going? What's going on with that?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, they got the GM headed out, Mike Mayock. So there's a lot of new faces in there. So we'll see how everything goes with I could see maybe that's why they did it like that. But I do
you
think
take a guy that's working with Belichick.
If you're saying as a coach, you're going to give him as a coach a C+ rating, that's just out of control, because there's no way as a coach he's a C+. He's definitely every bit of that A- that Peterson got, and the ball and etc.
I mean, if you're rubbing shoulders with Bill Belichick for that long, I mean, I'm going to take that probably over any guy that's just kind of getting in the league and trying to figure it out.
Yeah, it's like the same thing that you just said. It's all about those coaching trees and stuff. You think about Andy Reid's coaching tree, and then you think about first Shanahan, Mike. Is it Mike Shanahan? Right? I can't think of his name. I'm being stupid right now.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's with all the guys that he brought out. McVay came from there. His own son came from there. Zach Taylor came from there. The guy who's coaching the Bengals. You just got to think about.
Oh, you forgot from Matt LaFleur.
And LaFleur. I mean, I'm not a big fan of LaFleur because he's a fucking. I'm sorry, he's a bad guy.
Hey, man.
Yeah, they got LaFleur there too, and I don't know. I'm not trying to throw shade on that guy, but I do want to see what he's going to do without that nice shiny car, Aaron Rodgers, parked in the garage. If he leaves, I want to see what he can do as a coach.
Yeah.
It's so cool when you got all these good, you see what Kyle Shanahan's doing. He don't got Garoppolo's not holding his jockstrap. So, you see what he can do. He's obviously proven himself. McVay's proven himself. He did it with Goff. Didn't win it, but they went.
Mm-hmm.
With all that being said, I want to see what he can do without Aaron Rodgers. I really think that he got handed a big plate of food, and he's still eating it.
Man, I 100% agree with you. I mean, I'm also looking at when I saw Lovie Smith get a D, like, come on. Really? He's been to the Super Bowl. He's been there. He's done that. You give him a D. Why do you give him a D? Because he hasn't really done much in his whole entire coaching career. But, I mean, I see some of the other guys on this list. I mean, Josh McDaniels. I mean, Kevin O'Connell. I mean, they all look great. Brian DeBoer. They all look great. But we're not going to know until the season actually starts.
Sometimes it's just about getting an adult in the room.
Hey, I agree with you on that one. So free agency is coming up. It's already happening. Devontae Adams is a free agent. Chris Godwin is a free agent. Melvin Gordon is a free agent. Cordell Patterson, Jameis Winston, Zach Ertz, Andy Dalton, Allen Robinson. These are all free agencies right now. And they're all within like the same age range of each other. I mean, you got Devontae Adams at 29, Godwin at 25, Gordon at 28, Patterson at 30, Winston at 28, Ertz at 31, Dalton at 34. I mean, he's the oldest one on here. Then you go down to Allen Robinson. This dude's 28 years old. I mean,
David, Adams is the guy here.
Yeah.
You look at this list. I mean, whatever. The rest of the guys, they might help out over the course of time. Not,
but Zach Ertz was a big place for the Cardinals, though. He did
Adams
really
is
well.
The man.
He is.
If he leaves Green Bay, I don't see Rodgers sticking around.
But they have Aaron Jones.
Yeah, that's great.
They can always go out and get another wide receiver. I understand. Devontae Adams is a god.
No. That guy is.
I do think if Adams leaves and Rodgers stays, I think that they still can do something with, building. But will they be where they are? That's hard to say. But I do think that they are a package, and wherever one goes, the other's going. So
I think the Colts is the best bet for him and Devontae.
He's staying with the Green Bay.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're both talking right now, trying to figure out where they're both going to go together. Or Rodgers might say, you know what? If Tom Brady won it with Tampa, why can't I go down and win it with Tampa? I mean,
that looks weird if he goes down to Tampa.
It's a little overcrowded in Tampa, in my sense. Yeah. It's just, you got Godwin, you got
very true.
Evans.
I think Russell Wilson.
Oh.
I think he's going to take off. He's going to go to the Giants possibly in the offseason.
Why would he do that?
Yeah, why?
I think, for one, it's a big market city.
Mm-hmm.
For two, they're really. They need a quarterback. And let's just be honest. They've got a good defense, dude. They've got a team. They've got a low pick to get a lineman. They've already got decent wide receivers. You've seen what Kadarius Toney can do when he's healthy. Kenny Galladay just needs somebody just to get him the ball.
Yeah.
They've got Evan Ingram. He's probably a little injury-riddled, but maybe a rebirth with Russ could get him going. And you got, Saquon Barkley, who's obviously an injury guy, but they could bring in running backs. I'm just telling you, I do think that New York is, everyone looks at it and they're like, wow, what do you mean? It's a good team if you're a quarterback looking at that team.
Or he could stay put.
A different position.
Yeah.
I mean, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Gerald Everett, I think they could have utilized him a little more. You got Chris Carson. I don't. I've been following.
Think about the division. It's a tough division.
I understand that. Does he want to win? That's been his MO his entire career. Does he want to win? I don't think the Giants is a spot for him to be like trying to go for legacy. If he wants to please his wife, the Yoko Uno, the whole damn thing out here.
Another reason I wanted to say, but we were going to try and keep it sports, but I'm telling you right now, that division is not very good. The Cowboys are a mess.
That's true.
The Redskins aren't doing anything. I'm always going to call them the Redskins. They're not doing anything.
That's the Commanders, my friend.
Washington football team. I like that.
The Eagles are a questionable team, so I just really think that that's a playoff team right there with Russell Wilson on it and that defense that they have. The O-line could use a guy, maybe two. Maybe another playmaker, and there's somebody on the defensive line to get after the quarterback. But that is definitely, you got the big market city.
Mm-hmm.
You got Russell Wilson. That's big news right there for the league. That's going to bring football back. with those fans.
Well,
they're out of it, and that's a big. New York fans, that's a good. They're a good percentage of football.
Well, this is what people are also saying in the chat as well. I mean, Heather is saying Colts and the Giants is a possibility. But this is my problem. When you look at Dallas has everything that you could ask for a team. They have a great coach. They have a great quarterback. Their wide receivers, their running backs. I mean, Ezekiel Elliott, can kick rocks. He hasn't done much. Tony Power is the one that's pretty much holding the workhorse over there. Their defense is phenomenal as well. I mean, Dallas is a force to be reckoned with.
I don't know. I just think that Mike McCarthy's on. He's won. I don't know. He's got to go do something this year big, or he's out. The team is too good for them to not do better things. With that being said, I think that Russell. You tell me that obviously they do got a team over there, but I think that Cap is going to be a problem with them for a while. I don't think that anybody from they're not going to get O-line guys.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned the playmakers that they have. They do got playmakers, but I just think that with the competition in that division and the teams that are in it right now, they're not going down. They're going up. I think for him to get out would be a perfect opportunity this season. And he's going to follow in the footsteps of guys like Tom Brady. You saw him go to Tampa. He ended up winning. Matt Stafford took off from Detroit. He went to the Rams. He ended up winning. Rodgers is seeing the same thing. These guys that are vets, they're 38, 39 years old, 37 years old. They're seeing the writing on the wall and what it is. These teams are missing a quarterback. Why not go to that team? What are you going to give the team? Picks? They take picks and maybe some players or something. They got great depth.
Mm-hmm.
On those teams. So you can give up the depth or even give up starters and you still have depth to back up the starters. And
Steve,
and still have...
what could possibly the Giants give to Seattle to get him, though?
Nothing.
Well, they've got a high pick in the first round draft.
It's going to be a little more than that, I feel like, though.
Yeah.
Well, for sure, but, there's players on that team they could give. They've got another pick, obviously, in the next year's draft they could give. They've got plenty of picks out later rounds. There's good players on that team that they could give up. They could even give them back Daniel Jones. Obviously that's a project, but you're getting back a quarterback. I know you're a Seattle fan and might not want to hear the words that are coming out of my mouth.
That's all good, buddy. That's all
From a
good.
business standpoint,
I can take it.
Coming from Russell Wilson's standpoint, I do think that there's enough on that team to get him to go for them to accept the trade and for him to go there and still play good football with them. I do think that New York is a good city. They talked about Denver. I don't like you're thinking of a quarterback who's trying to win a ring.
Yep.
That's not a place where I don't think you're going to win a ring in the next 2 years. You want to talk about trying to go and win a ring? There's a chance that New York team could win a ring because of the
I like their defense, though. He does have a point. I like their defense.
They got a really good defense.
They got a really good defense. They do. They have a really good defense.
Listen, any team that Russell goes to is going to be remarkably better than they were.
Absolutely, because Russell Wilson is a top 5 quarterback.
But as I mentioned,
for sure, he can run, he can pass, he can do it all.
One healthy.
It's really hard to
healthy,
judge
yes.
this season in particular where he hurts his hand.
No.
I don't know whether they forced him back early or he wanted. He's probably a stubborn guy, like I would imagine.
He wanted to come back early.
Back a little
I
early.
think it was a little bit of both. I think that they have, like you said, they do have a really stacked team. I think that there's a lot of pressure on them to prove that they were a good team and put up numbers as an offense. The defense was always going to lack because they didn't have the defense, but as an offense, they thought that they could shoot it out and beat the teams with the offense. And it didn't end up happening, and they wanted to get them back for playoff contention, seeing that, the 49ers, I think at one point were 2 wins, 5 losses. I could be wrong, don't quote me, but I thought I saw somewhere around that in a flashback game. They were like 2 wins, 5 losses or something. So
Seattle's got the Niners number.
They do. They honestly do.
We've got a chance in this division. And you had the Rams, obviously, the clear cut. And I do believe, when did Kyler Murray go down? Halfway through the season or something?
He went down week 8. He went down week 8.
So there's openings that came up. You got to think what they're thinking as an organization and even what he's thinking as a player. He's a gamer. He's good. He wants to compete. He's going to go get it.
But look at it this way. That Seattle defense is very good. I'm not going to lie. They have Jamal Adams. They have Wagner. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, if he doesn't go down with injury, that team makes the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
And the conversation, I don't think they would have won the Super Bowl. They weren't that great, but they would have been good enough to get in there. I mean, since they expanded the playoffs, maybe we're having a different conversation at this point. The fact that they didn't make it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, he really cares about his limelight at this point. When he first started, I felt it was more genuine that he really wanted to win, wanted to be on the all-time legends. Mm-hmm. I feel that slipping away with the more notoriety he gets. Mm-hmm. However, I do believe he still wants to win. I think if he stays with Seattle, which I'm hoping, obviously, I think we can be right in the thick of things next season. But if he wants to go, he can try.
Let me ask you this.
Sure.
Is it enough to win a Super Bowl in the division right now with the competition that you see? I'm not asking you, this is the thing that would also that I wanted to throw out there. A quarterback who's at 37 to 39 years of age, going to Denver is not enticing to him. But if you can get a quarterback out there who's, that's why they took a shot on Teddy. He's 26, maybe give him some time to develop. By the time he's like, but they're not seeing the development coming out of Teddy. Now they're back at square one. But all I'm saying is they don't have that time.
Well, then it's just like we spoke about. And then he finds himself with Mahomes, Herbert, Carr.
And Herbert's no slouch. He's no slouch. You already see how.
I got Herbert in easily top 10 of the QBs that are playing right now. Mm-hmm. He's got all the potential in the world.
I put him right around top 7. I do think that he's really good. He's got, how many yards he's got in his first 2 years? Around 10,000, and he threw for 30 years back-to-back seasons.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So
that's not what a lot of rookies do and second-year players. I'll just say that, including the greats, Peyton Manning.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, look, man. I agree with everything that you both are saying. But we got to move on. Unfortunately, I'm so sorry. We got to move on. This is a great thing to talk about. You want to spend
2 more hours talking about Wilson?
No, I do not. I want to focus on what we got here. But we can, because he's on the next subject as well. Now, the trade talk is big right now with all these quarterbacks. You have Aaron Rodgers, you have Russell Wilson, you have Deshaun Watson, you have Kirk Cousins, you have Jimmy Garoppolo, you have Derek Carr, and you have Carson Wentz and Baker Mayfield. And all of these players have in common is that there's a lot of teams looking at them. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, the Rams are looking at him, which I don't understand why. I think we can take that one off the list. The 49ers, the Raiders, the Broncos, and Russell Wilson, Cowboys. I think we can take that one off the table too. The Saints, the Raiders, and the Bears. Deshaun Watson, I don't know why he's even on the list or even being able to be talked about after what has happened with him, but the Buccaneers and the Vikings. We have Kirk Cousins with the Browns, the Broncos, and the Steelers and the Panthers. Jimmy Garoppolo, he may stay, but Saints, Broncos, Washington, Texans, and Steelers, and the Jets. It's not a bad little look right there. The Jets could need some help. That would be a good little place for Jimmy G to go.
There's no way they're getting rid of Zach Wilson anytime soon.
I don't know.
No, not for Garoppolo.
But we have Derek Carr next. Colts, Browns, Broncos, Steelers. Broncos need a quarterback. Everyone has the Broncos on there besides Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson. Then we have Carson Wentz. Washington, Saints, and the Broncos. Baker Mayfield, Texans, Washington, Broncos, Seahawks, Saints, Giants, and the Panthers. He has the most teams looking at him as Baker Mayfield. I think Baker Mayfield needs to go to a different team just for this one fact. He's too comfortable with the Cleveland Browns. He's too comfortable. He needs to come out a little bit more. Kirk Cousins, I would like to see him go to the Broncos. I think he would do really well at the Broncos. I really do. Jimmy Garoppolo, I think he should stay. Aaron Rodgers, I would love to see him stay, but then again, I would love to see him as a Bronco or a Raiders as well. Mm-hmm. Deshaun Watson, after what he did, and we'll get to that segment later on, I think he needs to be kicked out and canned. I mean, they kicked out Ray Rice.
They did.
For less worse. Well, actually, let me take that back. Whenever you put your hands on a woman, and this goes for every single man that is out there, if you put your hands on a woman, you are the biggest piece of work in the world. You really are.
Yeah, no excuse for that.
There is none. But Derek Carr going to the Colts, I love that idea. I love Derek Carr going to the Colts. I think that's a great idea. I mean, it's just seeing this and listening to what we just all talked about.
To me, there's obviously the two. Mm-hmm. There's Aaron Rodgers and there's Wilson.
Yeah.
They can get you to a Super Bowl. The rest of them, they can get you to the playoffs.
Carson Wentz was there, though. But he didn't play because Nick Foles helped because he went down.
Come on. I mean, like,
but Carson Wentz did most of, like 95% of the
willpower
work.
dragging your team to a effing Super Bowl.
Flipping Super Bowl. We can say flipping.
Say this. Two players who can just put up stats and they won't get you, and they'll just put really nice stats up. If you even go look at it, Carson Wentz, I think he had 27 touchdowns.
Yeah.
8 interceptions.
He played really well.
He played good.
Kirk Cousins, 33 touchdowns.
Those are the two I was looking at.
You know, X amount. I think under 10 INTs. Don't quote me on that.
He had 7.
Either.
He had 7.
So I'm telling you, under 10. I told you.
He had 7.
But
The wife had him on her fantasy. I know this.
when it comes down to certain moments of the game, they don't get it done. There's certain things that they got to do, and they don't do it. And,
Yep.
whether it's throwing the ball out and not seeing the open guy, or getting sacked, because they obviously aren't turning the ball over.
No.
But it's just I don't think that decision making sometimes in certain moments isn't always the best.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I think Kirk Cousins is probably the third best on here, maybe the fourth. I mean, I would have to put Aaron Rodgers number 1, of course. Russell Wilson number 2. I have to say between Kirk Cousins and Jimmy Garoppolo, third and fourth. I mean, Derek Carr, Carson Wentz, but
that's
again,
the bias. I know what you just said,
Yeah.
but Watson to me is the X factor. He could literally. He's a great player.
He screwed up.
He's a douche for what he did, but if we're just talking strictly football,
Yeah.
you getting Watson on your team, I mean, you don't.
But is any of that stuff proven though?
That's true.
It doesn't matter. It's still an allegation. Even.
Who cares, dude? Kobe Bryant had allegations against him.
That's true.
But what happened? He paid him off.
He did a great
He
job.
paid
with
him
that.
off. Just like Michael Jackson. He did the same thing. He paid him off.
Look, and there's a thing that I've heard that agents even tell all of their people who they have signed. Record what goes on in the bedroom, dude, because there are all those girls out there, and they try and do that stuff.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm not
disagreeing with that either.
But you go to a massage parlor.
I'm not going to sit here and say that he did. I'm not going to sit here and say he didn't, because was I there? No. But I will say this. Why hasn't anything been proven yet? Why hasn't anything been brought upon him? Why is it such a stalemate? Like, this needs to...
Because he's trying to pay him off.
Yeah. I mean, with his $111 million contract, he's literally probably about to pay them all off to keep their mouth shut so that he can't do anything.
It's not about keeping their mouth shut. Even if they didn't do it, it's about just getting it. They know what they can do. They can hold the case over his head and just wait for him to pay them. He's going to have it over his head. These things take a while.
I mean, just like with Adrian Peterson and Tyreek Hill. I mean, Adrian Peterson did something to his child. Tyreek Hill broke his own kid's arm is what they're saying, but they haven't brought it to light yet because his girlfriend or his wife was too afraid to even testify against him.
That's what I've heard.
So it's...
Sorry, I've got an ambulance coming behind me.
No, you're good, man. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and take a quick little 10-minute break. When we come back, we're going to talk about wide receiver trades as well. We got a couple good ones on here, guys. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Sports Mafia, 10 minutes. You ready?
Yeah. Right back into it.
All right, what's going on, Sports Mafia? We are back with this latest in. All right, guys. So now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna hop over here. We're gonna hop into wide receiver trades. So the crazy thing is right now what we got is we have Calvin Ridley. He might be going to the Jets. He didn't play because of his mental illness. What's going to happen is that Arizona is going to get a 2022 second round draft pick and a future mid-round draft pick. Then you have Brandon Cooks.
You mean the Falcons? You said Arizona.
Oh, the Falcons. I'm sorry. Thank you. Brandon Cooks to the Eagles for Jalen and a 2022 second round draft pick. Michael Thomas to the Raiders. He did not play with an issue that kept nagging. DK Metcalf might go to the Patriots. Carson's over here shaking his head. He's shaking his head no. But these are some pretty good receivers.
Pretty good.
I mean, you got DK Metcalf. You have Calvin Ridley. Calvin didn't play because of his mental illness, week 4, week 5. Mm-hmm. Then you also have Brandon Cooks, who was a good receiver for the Texans, but they just couldn't give him the ball because their quarterback went down. But David Mills looked great. Really yeah, David Mills looked consistent.
He might be their answer.
I'm saying Brandon Cooks did good.
Yeah, Brandon Cooks did good, but I also think that David Mills had the most consistency with them, with the Texans.
I think that might be a little too steep for regular.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, for Cooks.
Yeah.
But, if he gets to the Eagles, he's already going to contribute.
Yeah, but he only had 6 touchdowns with,
Sure, he was also on the Texans.
He's not the receiver who's going to
He's not going to be your number one.
He's going to get you a lot of yards. Yeah, he's not a number one. I do think, you named DK Metcalf on there. I don't think he's going anywhere. If he does, that'd be interesting to me. Mm-hmm. But I do see out of everybody on that list, Calvin Ridley might be taken off. They said a second round pick for And, I do think that Calvin Ridley is the best on that list. What did you say Brandon Cooks for a second-round pick?
For a 2022 second-round pick for Jalen Reagor. To the Eagles. Yeah.
You said Jalen Hurts, I thought you said.
No, I just said Jalen.
I
I just said Jalen. No.
It'd be a great trade for Texans.
Brandon Cooks is a fourth-round pick at best.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're lucky if you get a third out of him. I think maybe even a fifth is relative.
I don't think you drop a second for Cooks.
No,
A second's way too high. It would be, I'm telling you, it'd be like 4.
You get a 4 for a 5th rounder. That's not too bad.
Mm-hmm.
4 or 5 or 6. So like you said, that's not bad for Cooks, and I think that he still got some production left.
The one to be on here on this list is Michael Thomas. I mean, if he goes to the Raiders played very well this year.
He's so injury prone. You think he's got stuff left in him?
Yeah, I think so. I think he has that attitude. Like a lot of players do, where if he gets discontent with where he's at.
he's an Odell Beckham.
I mean, we're gonna probably talk it about in a minute, but look at James Harden, man. Like, change the scenery.
Yeah, that's
Guys
true.
busting it out, like.
That's true, but you got to look at it at this list like this. You have Michael Thomas, who was one of the top receivers when he came into the league for the Saints. He held the Saints. Super Bowl. Won it.
Was he back in LA?
Cooks. Yeah. Cooks.
Well, Cooks.
Cooks played for the Patriots, had the same outcome, but got hurt against the Eagles in that game. Got that concussion. Calvin Ridley on this list, he's only what, second or third year?
He's like 4 or 5. But,
4 or 5?
He's about to get another contract here in a second, but
Well.
I don't want to pay anyone that doesn't want to play.
Well, here's the thing, though. Mental illness
He's
is...
not playing for the Falcons, though. They stink.
That definitely could have been the case.
Yeah. Well, but here's the thing, though. Ever since Julio Jones left the Falcons hasn't been the same. That was their, bread and butter, especially with Matt Ryan getting up there in age as well.
To that 28-3 comeback.
Well, yeah, when they should have just ran the damn ball. I mean, you have the best duo. I mean, you had Devontae Freeman and you had Coleman as well. You had the best running back duo. All you had to do was just run the damn ball. And you decided to throw it.
I don't know if it was the best, but it was at the time.
No, it was the best. Yeah, it was the best running back duo in that time. I mean, and then you have Matt Ryan, who was on fire. But ever since that, he just hasn't been the same. The Falcons just haven't been the same,
I think
man.
everyone was traumatized by that Super Bowl. I do think the whole team took it.
Wow. Circa Seattle 2014. Never the same after that game.
Yep, absolutely.
Exactly. I think that it takes tolls on guys and organizations. And
Yeah, I mean, like, to lose in that fashion when you're a play away or two, from actually win the Super Bowl.
Right.
Yeah, that's got to be demoralizing.
I agree. So, free agency running backs, and this is why we're bringing this up. You have Adrian...
Are you still talking about wide receivers? I do want to say one guy's name real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mike Williams.
Ooh, for the Chargers, yes.
Great player.
I like him a lot. I like him a lot.
I also want to mention Metcalf should not be on this list. Not at all.
Well, I think that Metcalf may stay.
Like I said, I agree with you 100%. I don't think Metcalf should be on the list, but I will say that I do like Mike Williams a lot.
He's a great football player.
Aside from Devontae Adams, I think that he's the next best. He's the next best one out there. He's really hard to cover. He's 6'4". He's got big body, big brain.
Yeah. I mean, he's been Justin Herbert's favorite. I mean, last year Keaton Allen was his favorite. And you just saw Keaton Allen blowing up. But now you see Mike Williams, and he's like, holy cow, like, where the hell did this guy come from? 6'4" monster. I mean, he can do the jump balls. He can...
Well, they drafted him because of that.
Yeah. I mean, when Kelvin Benjamin played for Florida State and when he came into the league and he played for Carolina, he was the same way. He was 6'5", could run really good routes, could do the jump balls, and sure, I mean, he was just a physical body. He was a physical person.
He fizzed out.
Yeah, just like Mike Williams. He's a physical man. DJ Metcalf is the same way too. I mean, DK is just a monster. He's just a big guy. He's just big. So running back free agents, you're looking. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because the Titans are looking for a number 2. They're happy with Henry, but they're looking for a number 2. On this list, you have Adrian Peterson, you have Todd Gurley, you had Freeman, you have Duke Johnson, you have Brian Hill, you have TJ Yeldon. I haven't heard his name since he played with Jacksonville. Adrian Peterson's been bouncing around the league too many times. Todd Gurley's last time that he played was with the Falcons. He did okay. Foreman, he played for Baltimore. You haven't really heard much from him. Duke Johnson, he played for Cleveland. But when you look at this list and what the Titans are talking about, they're looking at Melvin Gordon. They're looking at...
actually looking at a running back with Devontae Foreman.
Yeah, but Devontae Foreman is now a free agent. So what...
I could see them signing him back for cheap. I mean, all those other guys are going to cost money, and he showed... my opinion is if they kept him maybe in that game against the Bengals, instead of trying to put Henry in there and force him in there and try and be like, come on, work, why aren't you working? You know, like as if the machine was broke or something. And I think that if they would have just gone with the one that they had, that was, perfectly fine and just ran, I do think they could have beat the Bengals in that game because he's 3 turnovers, Tannehill, but Foreman was definitely, when he was on the field, he was getting yardage,
Well, that's true. I mean, he was doing really well. But the Titans are right now, they're looking at Melvin Gordon, Alexander Mattison for the Vikings, Marlon Mack, Tyson Williams from the Ravens, David Johnson or Phillip Lindsay from Houston, Mike Davis or Cordell Patterson from Atlanta. Carson, what do you think would be the best fit for the Titans as a second? If they decided to go with Foreman, that's cool. But who do you think on this list would do better?
Well, the first list we had there, the free agents, they should not get any of them.
None of them. Todd Gurley's done.
Gurley would be the guy, maybe he could resurrect his career somehow, but I don't see it. Yeah. If I was going to pick, Alexander Mattison is a great backup to Dalvin Cook. He always plays very well. I would want him out of everyone I'm looking at right here. Tyson Williams, he's really, really raw. He had some pretty good games this year. Yeah. If you want to go more on upside, maybe that's the guy. But Madison from Minnesota would be the guy I'd be looking at if I had to get a backup. But I also probably would just use a 3rd or 4th round pick for a running back at this point.
Well, I mean, I like Phillip Lindsay. I mean, Phillip, was the workhorse over there in Denver. He was very, very well put together, I believe. I mean, I thought that's how I felt. I mean, when you look at Mike Davis and you look at Cordell Patterson, I mean...
When you're talking about the Titans and you got Derrick Henry and it's just this monster power running game. Yeah. I don't know if Phillip Lindsay fits that mold. He's a tiny guy, which it's good.
But they have a catching back though, so you have Henry to do the power.
But your style of your game is going to be different again.
Yeah. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, they do got to get that pass catcher guy. They do need that other style of runner. / the scat back is what they're kind of looking for.
I guess more I'm thinking about if Henry goes down again.
True. And then the best one would be Mattson on this one, for sure. I mean, Marlon Mack would be cool, too. I mean, he would be a good catching back. I mean, I think that he would be probably like the second best on this list, and then it would go Lindsay. But then again, I think Cordell Patterson, I think he's going to sign another contract with
Let's sleep on David Johnson quite yet. That guy can catch some passes if that's what you're looking for.
He can, but he's injury prone. Like when he played with the Cardinals, he went down, he came back. He said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to do 1,000 for 1,000. I'm going to do 1,000 rushing yards and 1,000 receiving yards." And then he goes down again, like not even midway through the season. He's only there for 4 weeks. He goes down, then they send him off. Yeah. And then boom, here comes this brand new Texan. I mean, he hardly played.
I just think like backup running backs are pretty interchangeable.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to get some one of these guys possibly, but if you want to save a little money, use a late round pick, see if you can find some gold in the dirt kind of thing. I maybe lean a little more that way.
I agree 100%. Steve Kelly, how do you feel about the list that we just named off?
Give me 2 minutes. I'm going to step away.
Okay. Call me back. Okay.
Hey, it's life.
Cool. So, going on to Deshaun Watson now.
Yay.
This guy has 22 civil suits filed against him in March and April. They're accusing him of sexual behavior in 2 sexual assaults. He's been criminally charged now. What could we see from Watson's future? I mean, my point of view, kick his ass out the league. I mean, you kicked Ray Rice out. You didn't kick Adrian Peterson out, nor did you kick Tyreek Hill out. But he's going to massage parlors, just like the Patriots owner was doing the same exact thing. But they're accusing him of this right now. Now, in the justice system, you are innocent until proven guilty. But that's not the case for a lot of people. Once these allegations come out, you are guilty before you become innocent.
It's a little rough when 22 of them.
Yeah,
That's a big number.
It's 22. It's 22. Flipping civil. You're literally being sued for being a dumbass.
Definitely that.
You're being sued
Definitely that. Like,
for assaulting other women. Get his ass out of the league. I'm tired of hearing about him. I'm tired of seeing him. I'm tired of hearing about the story. Just can his ass out of the league. He hasn't played in 2 years. About to be 3.
yeah.
Because he's going to be handling this. That's just mine. I mean, when you look at this, what do you think?
Well, I mean, you have that many people accusing of one thing. Generally, like I said, you said, like, you're innocent until proved guilty. So I don't want to sit here and say that he's guilty. I wasn't there.
I wasn't either.
However, when it starts coming up that many people, there's probably a little bit of truth to it, at least. At least. And as far as his football career, he's still got a lot to give to the game. And I think a lot of teams would be happy to get him, but you don't know when you're going to get him. You don't know. It's going to cost you a lot. I'm kind of happy that Miami didn't pull the trigger for at least for their sakes.
Yep.
Because obviously,
$111 million contract for 7 years. $111 million.
The guy can ball, man.
Well, he did really well. Don't get me wrong. He did fantastic. But then you go ahead and do something as stupid as this.
Well, it's just lack of judgment.
They should just neuter him. Just get him out. Get him out of the league.
I'm not going to be the guy that sits here and defends him. I'm not that guy.
Get him out.
If he doesn't get abolished from the NFL,
Yep.
he would be a great guy to add to your team. That is 100%. There's no getting around that. He could turn your crappy 7 and 8 win team into a nice 10-win team working in the playoffs.
There's no doubt. So take this off the table.
I don't want to bring this in. I don't want to bring all this stuff in. Maybe he's cleared to play, and then some allegations go a different way, and then he has to sail the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And you're probably giving up a couple first-round picks for this guy.
Take this off.
Okay.
Take it all off, right?
Yeah.
Take everything out that is going against
And he's
him.
a top 10 QB in the league.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I give him that. Dude can run. Dude can pass. He can elade everywhere.
Improvisation
Yeah.
skill is very, very clutch.
I personally feel, Deshaun, you're a great, great quarterback. You were a great NFL football player. But I think his time is up, and I don't think that the NFL is going to allow him back. I mean, if you allow him back in the league, you need to allow Colin Kaepernick
Well,
back
that's why
into
the
league.
NFL should never taken the status of being someone to be passing judgment on anything. Let the legal system figure it out.
Right.
Then if he's cleared to play, he's cleared to play. I personally would not want him in my team in the sense that
Absolutely.
I don't know what I'm getting.
Well, it brings us to our next segment. Tua Tagovailoa. Should the Dolphins keep Watson? Or should they just let him go? He's just sitting there just holding up cap space for you to pick up a wide receiver. Will Fuller is going to leave. You're going to have to find something.
I'm I'm in the camp that you try to get whatever you can for him.
I understand
like
100%.
Hey, listen,
100%.
It's not like the NFL is big on morals, you know.
I mean,
we all know what's going on. We hear the stories, the stuff that happens. You kind of have to you just got to see what's actually going to happen on the field. And yeah, I mean, if we all took a moral stance about what is good or wrong about the NFL, none of us would be watching it.
No, absolutely,
but
100%.
It's such an awesome league to watch.
Yeah, it is. And do you know what the best part about it is? Is that when all these teams and all their quarterbacks come up on contract, their wide receivers, their star guys, they start looking at other people. I mean, Denver is looking at Tua as well for possibly a trade. Mm-hmm. But again, it's too early in the season to kind of tell. Jim, you are absolutely right. I mean, Watson is a top 10 quarterback for sure.
100% Jamie boy.
But these allegations against him, man, I think they just need to can him out of the league already because it's starting to get too much.
I see both sides of the story.
I mean, you're a multimillionaire, right? Mm-hmm. You signed a big ass contract. You're going around doing stupid stuff. I mean, look at Plaxico Burrell. Plaxico Burrell was hanging out with the wrong people, ended up carrying a gun and shooting himself in his foot in a stairwell.
Look at Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods as well.
Tiger was smart enough to pay off every one of those waitresses.
But the dude had literally 300-something million from all his endorsements along with these contracts.
Until he took some drugs and ran into a tree.
But his wife came at him with a 9-iron. I lived literally right by Golden Bear Golf Course where he lived in Windermere. And you could hear the siren.
When is your significant other not trying to take a 9-iron to you at some point?
My wife hasn't done that just yet. And my golf clubs are sitting all around the house. But she hasn't done that yet. She is. So we have Emmanuel, who is going to be a free agent here shortly. DNs for the Dolphins. I think his best fit would be Seattle.
We'll take him.
He is super good. He is a very, very good D-end. I mean, he's gotten to the quarterback. I think his sacks this year were 15. But his disruptions were a lot.
Well, that's the thing. Sacks only count if you get to him. It doesn't really break if you break down the pocket.
Right.
And he's like Donald. He influences the line every time he steps on the field. You either need to double him, and if you don't, you're going to pay the consequences for it.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot in particular things to say about defensive lines other than you need them.
Right.
It's very important to put pressure on the QB because this day and age, you give a guy even 3 to 4 seconds back there, he's going to scorch you. And I don't even care who it is.
Hey, I hear you. So we're gonna backtrack real quick because 3 people have brought up some pretty good things. Heather said, you just pay him off and take a 9-iron to him. That's true. But what Donna is saying here is it's all about the money. Owners turn a blind eye. Nobody takes responsibility for their actions because they know that they'll get away with it. That's 100% true. I agree with that 100%. I mean, Jim also says that Babe Ruth was the worst of them all.
He was not a great guy.
He wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't.
But we're also talking about a totally different era where, unfortunately, black players weren't even allowed to compete. So like
very true.
I wasn't obviously around for that era. Who effing knows? But anywho.
Yeah, man,
I don't got a lot more to say about him, but you know what?
I feel you on that one. Allen Robinson. Browns left Odell off. The Texans took away Brandon Cooks. Allen Robinson, I believe that, Allen would be a good fit over there at Cincy, be a good fit over there at the Texans. Hell, I really do think that he would be a good fit down there for the Dolphins. I mean, Mooney has taken over that number 1 spot, I feel personally about that.
I would like him to go to the Raiders.
Yes.
After, the whole debacle with their man. I'm sorry, Internet. I forgot his name off the top of my head.
Which one?
The guy that got in a lot of trouble with the Raiders.
Oh, you're talking about Ruggs.
Ruggs, yes.
Henry Ruggs.
Sorry, guys. I knew him.
Yep, Henry Ruggs.
Sometimes it just doesn't come right away. Anyways.
Yeah.
They need a guy out there to move the ball. Carr's very, very passive type of QB, but when he had Ruggs out there, he was willing to throw down the field a bit.
Yep.
I just want to open up things for them. They had Cincy on the ropes.
They did. I mean, but our next guy, Andre Dillard, O-tackle for the Eagles. I'm looking at what Dillard could do outside other than the Eagles. Now, when you take a look at... My bad, guys. Everything is falling over. When you look at Dillard, you see what he did for the Eagles. I mean, he was a pretty good pass protector for Hurts. Where I think that he should go next, I think that he needs to go to Cincinnati. Cincinnati could not do much in that Super Bowl against that.
I'm sure Cincinnati would love it.
I bet. I guarantee. So, Steve, we're talking about Allen Robinson. Where do you think Allen Robinson needs to go for the Bears? New England. You think New England? That's a good... I like that pick, New England. That's a good one.
I think they would be able to milk everything.
I mean, Mac Jones? Oh, yeah. I think it would be awesome.
I don't have any... That's a good one.
Issue number one, they got to go after somebody, and that's why I also was hearing about, obviously a lot of reports are going to be tied in New England in the off seasons because they're still kind of in the news, with the success that they've had. So I do think there's been, Ridley's been tied to them, and I do like Allen Robinson. I haven't really seen too much about Allen Robinson going to them, but I do like Allen Robinson to the Pats.
He just needs to get out of Chicago.
Yeah. Mooney took over.
Yeah.
What
about him going to, somewhere where maybe even to the Packers on like a pay cut or something? I don't know.
But they have too many receivers there already.
No. I kind of agree with your brother on this one.
They might have too many, but they don't have.
They don't have a legit number two guy.
There's images of here's Marquez, he's doing good this game, absent for the next 3-4. Oh, here's Allen Lazard, he's good this game, absent for the next 3 to 4.
Yeah,
so
I would say the Green Bay receivers are very inconsistent outside Adams.
Yeah, I
exactly.
Yeah, I see what you're saying now. I absolutely understand now, but
you get to play them twice a year and rub dirt right in their face.
Yeah, I mean the Bears.
There you go.
I mean,
that's the biggest thing. I think that's why a lot of guys are going to be staying in division and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, how I personally feel is Allen Robinson was a good receiver for them there. Then they picked up Alshon Jeffries. And where did he go?
Hey, man, he had a good run in Philly.
He did. He had a really good run in Philly.
That's it.
And now when you're looking at it, I mean, I personally feel that, Robinson would be a good fit, just like you said, at the Raiders. I mean, I think Derek Carr, because he's a pass-happy type of quarterback. But they also have Darren Waller over there. Waller is a beast among his own.
No, he's
right
up there at the best.
I mean,
I like the Raiders as well.
I do. Yeah, no. Melvin Gordon. I mean, they have Devontae Williams.
When I'm looking at free agency, I'm looking at teams that are on the fringe, not necessarily teams that are going to be there next year, like the Bills or Kansas City. Right. They're pretty set. They need to be more concerned about keeping their own players in-house. But if you're looking at a guy like Robinson here, where you're with like the Raiders, if
I'm a wide receiver,
you need something, some kind of juice to get you over the top, or at least get you a little further in the playoffs.
If I'm a wide receiver, right? I'm a wide receiver. Do I want to get paid the mega millions, or do I want to go to a team that I know is going to keep my best interest, going to give me the ball, win a championship? I feel like that Allen Robinson should, in fact, Patriots is good. They got Myers.
I like that one.
Myers didn't really step it up, as much. He didn't get a touchdown till, I think it was week 15, 16.
It's pretty late.
It was very late. Mm-hmm. But now you also got to see who else do they have. I mean, their defense is solid. Very solid. I mean, they have McCourty. I mean, I don't know. I personally feel like that Allen Robinson does need to go to, just like what Steve just said, Green Bay. I think it would be a good pick. Green Bay would be an awesome pick.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Green Bay is just knocking on the door right now.
Yep.
And that's why I don't think Rodgers should leave.
hello, open the door, let me in. Melvin Gordon.
All cliches over here.
Right, yep. So Melvin Gordon, I mean, they have Javonte Williams. Huh? What'd you say?
Loves Melvin Gordon.
No, I don't, it's not that. I just feel like that he has, a lot of people have a bad taste in their mouth about him. I don't think he's bad. I just think that he hasn't found his place yet. What I think...
The Chargers, man, he did his thing. It's just once you kind of go through certain stuff. And
yeah. I mean...
You kind of lose it.
You only have so many hits in your body.
Yeah.
And,
Before you go down and you don't play anymore.
There's outliers when you get around 28 to 30 as a running back.
Yep.
Personally, one of my all-time favorites, Marshawn Lynch, obviously. But, for most guys, when you get around that age and took enough hits, you probably never come back. And I don't see...
You're looking at Barry Sanders,
a major impact in the NFL again.
I mean, when you look at Barry Sanders, Sean Alexander, Terrell Davis, when you look at all of those guys and how many times... I mean, Detroit used Barry as a workhorse, and he got tired. That's what they're doing in the Giants with...
because they sucked.
Well, he also left, and here we go, fun fact, he left because he went to Walter Payton's family's house and said, hey, can I beat his record? They said, no, let it live longer. He said, cool, I'll retire. He retired because of that, because him and Walter were great friends. Now, when you look at Saquon Barkley over there at the Giants, they used him way too much. His first year had a blowout. Second year, hurt himself. Third year, hurt himself. Now he's not doing much, and no one is talking about him. No one is asking for him to play. You already know what you get with him.
There's a spot where you can overtrain. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I mean you're too big and something like that. It really weighs on your muscles. Easier chance to tear them. All kinds of stuff. That guy's an awesome running back when he's out there, but he hasn't shown any. He hasn't shown that he's going to be able to stay on the season for 16, 17 games, and until he can prove that, I'm not saying it's over for him. I not with that kind of talent, but for the most part, man, you're taking on a big risk if you move on from if you're the one receiving him. Let's just put it that way.
I mean, I think Marlon Mack would be good over there in
Hell yeah, I think that's
Tennessee.
Very, very underrated.
Yeah, I think he'd be good in Tennessee. I mean, you got a passing back right there.
You also got to wonder how much Marlon Mack's going to want, though, because you don't want to put too much money into one position, that doesn't need that much money when you already got, somebody like Derrick Henry.
Very true. I think that if Marlon were to go and talk to the Texans, I think the Texans would tell him, hey, look, let's relax here. Let us do what we do here, and we'll pay you X amount. You win us a Super Bowl, or you help us get to a Super Bowl contending team, then we'll start talking about the pay. But somebody in the chat did say when it comes to CTE comes into play, like Aaron Hernandez, that does happen. I mean, Melvin did suffer a bunch of concussions too when he played with the Chargers. So CTE is a thing when it comes to it as well.
I just think it's not going to be...
But his knees took the worst of the blunt of the force.
If I can get him on a flyer for round minimum, I would love to get him in the building and see if he's got anything left. But I am not going out of my way to give it a high draft pick, even a mid-round pick for him at this point.
I agree. So, Steve Kelly, Kyle Fuller, Broncos cornerback. He's a free agent. Where do you think that Fuller should go and play? Who do you feel needs a cornerback right now the most?
Bengals don't need any more of them. They got a large amount of them, I'll tell you that.
Okay.
Where do I think he could go? Kyle Fuller.
Seattle could use him.
Yeah? No, honestly, Seattle really could.
My bias is just flying out of me, my friend.
Yeah.
Seattle could use a corner. You got Pittsburgh. They could probably use a corner, but you wonder what's going on with them. Let's find out. That's another team that we didn't really mention, and I feel like no one's really mentioning them because Joe Burrow just took the Bengals to the playoffs. But that's another team that's just that one guy away from put Aaron Rodgers there, put Russell Wilson there, and see what could happen. I do know that there's a lot of competition. I'm not a fan of Lamar Jackson. I do love Joe Burrow a lot. If you want to compete with him for those 2 years, give it a go. But I Super Bowl ready team with a good quarterback with Russell or Aaron Brown.
Yeah, man. Hey, I agree 100%. Melvin Ingram, edge for the Steelers, is now also going to be a free agent as well. I mean, you have Watts over there. I mean, they have a really good
Ingram's
defense.
on the Steelers or on the Chiefs?
He's on the Steelers.
Okay.
He's a third-time Pro Bowler. I mean, I feel like that he should sign an extra contract and give it an opportunity. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger just retired. So to see what's going to happen with the Steelers is going to be amazing to see like what quarterback that they're going to pick up. Jamison Crowder for the Jets is a free agent too.
He's definitely a change of scenery guy.
He is. But they have Corey Davis. They have
Juju's
more.
Juju's a free agent. They
Yeah.
won't re-sign him, I don't think.
No, I would not resign the dancing monkey. I would not re-sign Juju Smith-Schuster.
Juju, I could see ending up with the team that's needing of a wide receiver, Jacksonville, the Jets.
Yeah, the Jags are definitely using him.
But here's the thing though. So Jim just said in the chat, if Rodgers goes to Washington or San Fran, it's over. If he goes to the Washington
Commanders
football team,
The Commanders.
Steven, what do you say they are? The Redskins still? I feel that if Rodgers goes to Washington, it's game over. Devontae's going to go. They have McLaurin, sorry.
Is
they have
that for a
McLaurin.
fact? I mean, it's nice to think that anywhere Roger lands, that Adam's going to follow, but we don't know. Money talks.
Yeah, it does,
It's the
but
best place. There's nothing like Green Bay for him right
That's
now.
what I'm saying. I think
Yeah.
Rodgers, if he's smart and he wants to win, stay right where he's at, man. They've been 2 NFC title
I mean,
games.
so what are you going to go from Scary Terry to, from Devontae Adams to Scary Terry?
yep.
It'd be a great combination, but
Then they also got Jordan Reed coming back off an injury.
To the Commanders. If he did, because I know they do have
Commanders.
Curtis Samuel. I'm not 100% sure if he's a free agent, but I'll tell you what, if he did,
Sounds like an
they got
AFL
Adams
team.
and Scary
It does.
Terry, that would be
Well, here's
XFL.
also a cool thing too.
yeah.
The XFL.
Yes.
Carson, what did the XFL did?
So they actually signed a partnership with the NFL.
Right.
Not as they're going to take talent from the XFL or vice versa. It's more like how the minor leagues use
Baseball.
baseball, use the minor
Single
leagues
A,
as
double A,
like
triple A, yeah.
a chance to
Same with hockey and
try
basketball.
different things out to improve
Yep.
the game. Like where they're using the minors, they're using a pitch clock
Yep.
so that people aren't sitting around sticking a thumb up their butt,
Yep.
waiting 30 seconds, 40 seconds to throw a pitch.
Well,
So I don't have anything on top of my head which would help football, but I'm sure there's some things in the kicking game
I got one.
you can try. Well,
I got one.
what do you got?
Whoever is the losing team, the worst team in NFL, should drop down to the XFL, and the person who
I
wins
love
the
it.
XFL championship should then replace them. So, for instance,
Well, that gets rid of tanking right there, my friends.
Yeah.
That is what gets rid of tanking.
yeah, because if you're the worst team,
competition level's nowhere near an NFL team. You can
well, yeah, but
I understand, but
I'm
I
just
mean,
saying,
you will.
right?
Your 1-14 Jaguars are desperately trying to kill the Jets
Yeah.
when they're 1-14 at the end of the season.
Yep. I mean,
I
that's
do think
that's
that
how I
the two,
feel.
I will say this. I think that maybe the two worst teams in the league should play for the the number one pick or something like that. Might be more interesting, but I don't know about the XFL.
How about you get the? How about
Hang
you
on,
get
hang
the
on.
team to
Hang
win
on,
the
listen-
Super Bowl
Listen
first
to this. This is super funny. Heather says, take his dirty hair and go to Washington. Then she says, after we just talked about that, she goes, so Detroit will leave, question mark? No, Detroit's not going anywhere because they're not going to be the worst team if this goes in. Teams would actually try.
Yeah, I will give that to Detroit.
We get picked on enough. Leave us alone.
They always show like some competitiveness, where in their best interest is probably to lose every game like they normally do.
Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. So Will Fuller was the number 2 guy.
Always injured.
Yep, he's injury prone. He's always suspended too.
Always.
He was suspended with the Texans the first four weeks. Then he goes down to Miami, same thing, suspended for the first 4 games. Then he gets hurt week 6, doesn't come back until like Week 15. He's a free agent. I mean, he's a good wide receiver.
Oh, he's great if he's healthy. He's on your team.
I mean,
not a bad guy to have.
No, not at all.
However, he might play 4 games for you the whole season.
I feel that the Browns and the Packers could use him. That's just my opinion. I mean, if the Packers could use Fuller to his full potential,
I'd be great choice for the Packers. But I got to question his durability because there's just some guys in this world, for whatever reason, they just can't stay healthy.
We'll go right back to Saquon Barkley again, injury prone. All right, guys, well, we're going to go ahead and take a break. Our next segment is going to be NBA basketball, guys. When we come back, give us 10 minutes. We'll be right back, guys. This is going to be extreme because somebody's got a good list. Someone has something. I don't have a bad list. Get out of here. All right, guys. It is interesting, but I'll explain why in a moment.
I got you.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and talk about the big NBA trades, the whole nines. Donna says, even if the Lions got in the top 10 pick in the draft, it wouldn't help. They're cursed. You're right. They're 100% cursed. We need to get the Fords out of there. I can't stand the Fords.
It's the ownership, always.
Right.
Always point the ownership.
But then a lot of people start blaming the coaches. It's not the coach's fault. It's not. This is what makes me mad. When teams fire the coaches, cool. All right, you're gonna fire a coach for picking the wrong play, but the player should have been there. Like I can see so many times with Glover Quinn, so many times with Darrell Revis, so many times Randy Moss beat him on a fly route when he should have had the whole back office was his. They still fired the coach. But it was Darrell Revis' fault that Randy Moss got past him. It was Glover Quinn's fault that he dropped that interception in the end zone.
Now, let's make something really clear here. It's great to get an NFL job, and even if you can make it a year or two, you're walking out with $5 to $6 million in your pocket.
I do agree.
And they are scapegoats. I get that. There's a lot of times like I can't believe Miami got rid of Brian Flores. Yeah. Sorry, my friends.
But this is also my problem. If
your problem is that you're a Detroit fan.
No. Hold on. Yo, Jim, we're going to talk about Ben Simmons here in a minute, my man. I like that he brought up Ben Simmons right away off the snap. But here's the thing, though.
Your boys are looking good, Jimmy. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
they're out the gate right now.
Yeah, they're not looking
Looks
too
like they
bad.
flow really well together.
Yeah. Here's the thing. If I owned the Detroit Lions, I'm firing everybody. I'm starting over from scratch. I'm trading literally everybody.
And you know what's going to happen? It won't matter at all.
Guarantee if I had 3 years to rebuild the Lions, if I picked up you and me, my brother, even if I got Jim, my wife, if I got anybody that's outside of the NFL realm, I guarantee that us five could literally take an NFL team to a Super Bowl. Just kidding, guys. Just kidding.
Fair enough. I'll let him dream over here.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and take a quick 10. We'll be back. Basketball is coming up next with all the big trade lines and our top 10 NBA players of all time. This is going to be super fun, man. I can't wait, guys. We'll be back in 10. My damn phone fell in the middle of the fucking thing. It's okay. And we are back. Here we go. Basketball talk, guys. Sports Mafia. If you guys haven't already, like, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Guys, this is awesome.
Hey, for the first show, man, I think we're doing really well, my friend.
We're going to sit here and do some basketball talk here, and we're going to go ahead and move forward in on this. Steve Kelly, welcome back. Thank you for joining back in the show. How are you?
What's up, dude?
Are you ready?
What's up, Steve?
I'm good to go.
All right, cool, man. Basketball talk. So the trade went down.
Oh, shit.
If you want, man, you can kind of just hang out a little bit here on this one if you want to. The 76ers landed James Harden for Ben Simmons. Now, this is a crazy trade. The 76ers get James Harden and Paul Millsap. Not a lot of people know that Paul Millsap was in on this trade. The Nets got Ben Simmons, Steph Curry's
His brother.
little brother, Andre Drummond, a 2022 first round draft pick, and a 2027 first round draft pick. I personally think that this is a good trade. I think this was the better trade. I gotta say that the Nets won it. They got Steph Curry.
I think in the long run they're going to win it just because of the defensive side that those other players, they didn't have no defense with James Harden and Millsap.
Well, when Millsap played for Orlando, I mean, when he played down there in Orlando with Nelson, Dwight Howard, Turkoglu, Brandon Bass, all of them, the super cool thing about this whole thing is that the Nets get Paul Millsap and Andre Drummond, who both are vets. They're vets. Steph Curry as well. Steph has been stepping up. He's been dropping 20-something points a game. They have Patty Mills over there at the Nets. They have Kevin Durant. They have Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving is injury prone. I'm not really 100% sure, but I will say this, though. James Harden and Joel Embiid, that's a double duo. I think that's going to be the best duo in basketball right now.
Well, it's great when Harden gets back in shape like how he is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that the Kyrie and Kevin Durant duo is going to do a lot better than that. I don't know. James Harden he needs a lead so that he can do the James Harden type things. Maybe they'll be good. I do like Embiid a lot, but I just think with them leaving, I don't like that many stars on a team. I think 2 is enough, and then you need the Indians to come in. You know, 2 Chiefs and 3 Indians on the squad or something like that. A lot of guys you could look at guys like, the Warriors, for example. They got a really stacked team, but everybody just accepts their role. You know, and that's just what it comes down to. And not a lot of teams can take that sacrifice. Not teams, but players. They can't take that sacrifice and accept, what they got to do.
Culture is very, very important. Whatever you're bringing in.
I agree. Look at the Lakers.
Mm-hmm. I personally think maybe. I think the Nets probably in the long run's got this one, but obviously, Philly's played New York and Minnesota the last 2 games. It is what it is. But they look great. And I really like that Sixers really needed a second scoring option desperately.
Yeah.
And they got it with him. My problem is with the Sixers is that they depend on getting the foul line. Probably more so than any team in the league at this point.
Too much.
And in the playoffs, they don't call that stuff as much. They don't do as many ticky-tack fouls and things like that. So it's good. I like the deal. I'm scared for Philly because of Harden's track history.
Yeah.
And Embiid. He's had a kind of interesting, weird career to start his career.
Well, he's always in the top. He's always in the top leading scorer, rebounding as well.
But I guess it's like anything. Mm-hmm. When Kawhi shoots that shot and it bounces around for 10 days and falls through the hoop, if that goes out, we're talking about the Sixers in a totally different light. It's just one of those things where something crazy happens and the narrative, I hate the word narrative, guys, by the way, but the narrative of the story changes completely.
Yep.
And I can see why they went out and got Harden. Simmons, obviously to me, I always say a change of scenery guy. Definitely needed it. I think the real star that the Nets got is Steph Curry. That guy will run screens, can hit 3-pointers.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, if all you're asking Simmons is to play defense like he does and facilitate, the Nets are going to look really good. Now, did they have time before Durant gets back and with Kyrie's whole issue with playing in a certain state and, that... I don't know if this year is going to bear fruit for him.
Well, this is what I'm looking at it as. And Jim in the chat really does make a good point here. Jim, thank you for being here. Thank you for, dropping in so many cool things, man. This, for what he said is, as a Philly native, losing Curry hurts. It does hurt. Mm-hmm. Curry was your bread and butter over there, man. But when you also look at Drummond as well, Drummond is a big body. When he played for the Pistons, man, he was good. But...
Drummond can't play a full game though.
No, but they don't need him to play a full game though. But they don't need him for a full game.
Well, here's another thing.
You're right.
Because they still have Aldridge that played for the Spurs. But it's like he said. Jim said he would have gave Simmons away for free for a $40 million contract. He also said that Embiid is a league MVP. I do believe that as well. The pick and roll is going to be a nightmare against Philly. You're right, 100%.
With Simmons and Drummond, man, when it gets down to it, when we get in the actual playoffs, can those guys hit a free throw? Can they get to the line without the pressure? And I would say those guys mentally are very weak at this point. I would be a little nervous about that.
Well, I'm also.
But you have Durant and Irving, so
right.
That's obviously.
They have Patty Mills. You can't forget Mills either. Mills is hitting threes left and right. But when I'm looking at this right now, what I'm looking at, Ben Simmons isn't clutch. When they were in the playoffs, he only had 12 points. In the final game, when you're 3-3, you only had 12 points? You're supposed to be a damn superstar.
I think that's the great thing about being on the Nets is his role doesn't necessarily have to be as a scorer.
Right, but I'm putting 40, 50, 60, almost $100 million into you, and you're coming out there lagging, playing like you're I don't want to play no more. No, listen, get your ass up and go play.
If the Nets didn't know what they were getting, then they were obviously blinded the whole time. So
absolutely. I do agree with you on that one. Maverick sends Porzingis, which
great deal for fucking.
Wow, Wizards got a great pick.
I would love to get him off my books.
Really? He's injury prone. He is.
Porzingis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to get rid of his contract as fastly as I possibly can. You get a couple good role players in there.
That's
anything
true.
To help Luka dominate the league like he should be doing.
Well, so Jim also asked, who is the point guard in Brooklyn? Who was the court general? I'll tell you now who is going to be the court general. It's going to be Irving.
Yeah.
It's got to be. Mills can do it too, but Mills is such a young player. This is his first year.
He carried LeBron. He got LeBron that one ring.
Yeah, he did, but he's injury prone though. You got to remember his hand, his wrist, his thumb, his elbow, his shoulder. That shooting arm isn't as good as it used to be. But I will say this crazy point though, Jim. I will say this. I do think that Curry may take his job when it comes time.
I would say with Simmons, you're getting someone similar
Yes.
to Draymond, where he can guard anyone on
Absolutely.
the floor, play a lot of great defense. You already have Durant and Irving to score. It's a great situation for Simmons, I think.
So, going back to the Mavericks, Dallas has Luka. Luka's amazing. Luka magic. I love watching Luka play. I do. The one thing that I don't like about Luka is that he's doing too much politics with the refs. Shut up, play your game. You're killing it. You're doing fantastic.
LeBron gets away with it.
Yeah, but LeBron is a different story, and we'll get to LeBron
they're all
in a minute.
divas, man. They're
Yeah,
all divas.
every single one of them are divas. But Spencer Dinwiddie is now a Maverick. Davis Bertans is now a Maverick. Porzingis is now in the Wizards. The Wizards also get a 2022 second-round pick, which I think was the lower end of this trade. I really do.
Anything in the second round in the NBA, you don't know what you're getting.
Luka does not need to go to the Lakers, Jim. No, stop. No. He needs to stay right where he's at. But I will say this, though. Ben Simmons, and Jim, you did bring up a good question on this. I think Ben Simmons' role is going to be off the bench. I mean, I don't see him playing anywhere else. I mean, Mills is doing just as much. I mean, I can't trust Ben Simmons. I can't trust him. He can, but he's not going to want to play the 4 or the 3. He wants to play shooting.
I don't know if he has much of a choice.
I really honestly don't believe it either. But here's my problem again. I feel like that Ben Simmons needs to tone it down a little bit. You're not as great as you think you are, man. When you played for UCLA, dude, you were awesome in college. Same with the ball. LSU, thank you. So sorry, thank you. LSU. But when you look at it, I don't know, man. I think that Luka needs to stay where he's at. I've always said this, though. I've always said that when what's his name for the Warriors got healthy.
I think sorry to cut you off, David.
Go ahead.
I think the thing that we really need to mention is that Philly got Harden for Simmons. Where we were talking earlier in the year about him getting C.J. McCollum. You know, players of his ilk.
Yep.
To get Harden back in this trade is phenomenal. And I think it's one of those trades I feel like is kind of a win-win for both teams.
Yeah. I mean, but I've always felt, Klay Thompson. Now I remembered his name, thank you, because now I got a chance to remember his name. Klay Thompson should have went down and played for Dallas and became a superstar. Because when you're up there, when you had Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, him, Andrew Wiggins, and you also had Draymond Green and all the others, that's the way how I felt. I mean, I felt at that time that Klay Thompson should have went down to Dallas and played. On the next trade, you got the Celtics and the Spurs. The Spurs got Josh Richardson and Romeo Langford. Romeo's a good pickup. They also got a 2022 first-round draft pick. And they also got a 2028 first-round pick swap.
2028 is very relevant right now.
Yes, very, very. But the Celtics got Derek White. Derek White, when he came in and he played for the Celtics on his debut, he looked fantastic. He dropped 19 points.
Yeah.
I believe he had 6 assists and a few rebounds. I mean, he looked decent. It looked like that he fit there. But when you have Brown and Jalen and all of those guys that are there right now at the Celtics, I mean, Marcus Smart, I don't know where Derek White is going to fit just yet. I would love to see him start, but then again, you just honestly never know. I mean, how do you feel, Carson, about that?
This trade in particular?
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest, I haven't seen a lot of Derek White, but what I've heard is that he definitely helps the apparently what I've okay, this is a hearsay, but
go ahead, speak it.
Apparently, Celtics have a hard time to facilitating, and this guy likes to move around, make screens, and obviously I think that's a great addition if that's what he's actually doing to help that team.
Yeah, I mean he's a good pick. Steve, what do you think about this trade? Who do you think won this one, the Spurs or the Celtics?
Sorry about that, Dave. I was a little busy. I missed the conversation.
All right. Celtics get Derek White. Spurs got Josh Richardson and Romeo Langford. A 2022 first-round pick and a 2028 first-round pick swap. Who do you think won this trade, the Celtics or the Spurs? I say the Spurs.
Sounds kind of even. I don't know. I don't really know if anybody got an advantage out of there.
I got you.
Two teams. I just kind of feel like those two teams, they're not really gonna. I don't know. The Celtics are more relevant than the Spurs, I guess. But you understand what I'm saying. I don't really know if that is gonna put them anywhere. I just feel like it was like a wash.
But now here's another thing, though. The Celtics traded with the Rockets too, as well. Celtics got Daniel Theoris back. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Rockets get Dennis Schroeder, Enz Freedom, and Bruno Fernando.
So they got sent to NBA purgatory.
Yeah. So, I mean, the Rockets are the last right now in their...
Yeah, they're awful.
They're just terrible at the moment. This trade is a lot. The Bucks get Ibaka in a 4-team trade. Now, to kind of follow this is a lot. So what I'm going to do...
You can do Cliff Notes. But
is we're just going to do it super simple. The Bucks get Serge Ibaka. Clippers get Rodney Hood and Semi. in Morakovic. The Kings get Devontae Denzaveno, Josh Jackson, Trey Lyles, David Micah, and then the Pistons get Marvin Bagley. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, this is a weird trade. This is a very, 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 very weird trade. I mean, this is a 4-way trade for 4 different teams. I mean,
you got a bunch of role players kind of getting mixed up here. Serge, I'd be a little worried. Just he's been around for a long time. If he plays at his best, he can definitely help the Bucks.
I do like that Serge.
I do.
I think he can
I do
help.
as well. I think he could help big time.
If I was the Bucks, I want another guy with Middleton. I don't know. I want a little.
You
more
want something
juice.
with Middleton? I
want something with a little more juice.
I feel you on that. I really do feel you on that. But the thing about Serge Ibaka is that he never gives up. I mean, when he played for the Thunders, you saw the guy never gave up. And Jim is saying, well, can we get Dame out of Rip City? No, Damian Lillard needs to stay.
I'm
and he
going
needs
to
to go to the Lakers.
I'm going to go down and say, I think this is the perfect time to trade Lillard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Blazers got this very, very young nucleus right now.
Yep.
Simmons is coming in and he's dropping 20. I mean, someone's got to come in and get points, and he's doing it. You know, Dame probably he seems like too nice of a guy to demand a trade in a sense where he's like, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
But help him out. Let him go somewhere. Get a nice wing guy. Get a couple picks. Help that team. That Josh Hart, I think, is very underrated coming back from the Pelicans for McCollum. It's like I'm clicheing again, guys, but like it really matters. Sometimes when you just need to get out of a situation into a new spot with a different role, you can see this person flourish. This guy has jumped up from being like a 30% shooter, and now he's dropping 28 a game right now in the last couple of games.
I agree.
Except for the All-Star break, kind of slowed down a little bit of that buzz that they were going right before the break there.
This is what I have a problem with. When you see CJ McCollum and you see what they did when they went to the playoffs, CJ was more of the excitement player, but Lillard was... The guy's just a man. He's the most clutch player I think I've ever seen. He jacked up a 3 from 45 feet out to win them the game.
Oh, trust me. A couple years back when they dropped the Thunder out, I could have been happier.
Gosh. Yeah, I couldn't. Yes.
R.I.P. Sonics, by the way.
Yeah. Well, Supersonics, Seattle. Speaking of that, they were thinking about picking up a team, though. Again, they were thinking about getting another team.
If they were smart, they would bring Seattle back into the fold. That's for 100% sure.
Absolutely. Steve, what do you feel about Damian Lillard over there at Rip City for Portland, Oregon?
Let him free.
Let him free.
Yeah, I agree right now.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, if his value is still high enough, go get something that you can get and build with that young team that you have.
I mean, like...
Nurkic is playing well.
Yep.
You got Simons going through, slashing and dashing.
Yep.
Like I said, Hart's been playing really well since he's been traded. Yep. I think you've just built on that core. Obviously, the CJ and Lillard thing was not working out for the last couple of years. So it's time to move on, man. This is how sports is.
I hear you.
You know, like when you're talking about Northwest, man, we hang on to our players. We are very dedicated. It's a... Listen, East Coast bias is a real deal, my friends. It
really is, man.
It's a
so
real
sad.
thing. So when you have a team or someone you really care about, we grab onto them. We want to see everything good.
Yep.
But sometimes, just like everything else in life, it's time to pull the plug, see what you can do, regroup. I think Portland would be better off getting rid of Dame at this point.
Absolutely. The Hornets is the most exciting team to watch. Miles Bridges. I love the commentator.
Thanks for the highlights.
I love him, man, dude. He is phenomenal. I love watching Miles Bridges play. I love watching the LaMelo Ball play. I love watching the Hornets play. The Hornets just got Montrezl.
It's a good deal.
Yeah.
I still think highly of Montrez.
Wizards get Vernon Carey Jr. and Isaiah Smith.
Both guys I've never heard of.
they're number twos. They come off the bench.
Well, you need those 7 to 8 guys, but when you're the Wizards,
that's what they play. Yep.
and you're never going to see the glory of anything at this point, that doesn't help you as much.
It does not. Now, this trade was the first trade that went down. This one's pretty nice. I love this one.
I like it for one team.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and say this one? Let me hear it.
All right. So the Pacers get Halliburton,
Yep.
Buddy Hield,
Yep.
and Tristan Thompson. For Sabonis, Justin Holiday and Jeremy Lamb and a second-round pick, which never matters.
No.
So Halliburton is in his second season. This guy has potential to be he has potential to be one of those guys that you're going to see in the All-Star game a lot. Buddy Hield is no joke. I know Sabonis is great. I don't know what the Kings are doing. They could prove me wrong. They definitely could. I mean, Holiday and Lamb are guys have been around for a little bit and they play some games, but
Jeremy,
if I'm looking at it straight and you're just not even looking at numbers,
Yep.
I would say the Kings just ruthlessly destroyed their team for the next couple of years, which they continuously do.
Yeah. That's what they do.
Yeah.
I mean, Buddy Hield.
Poor franchises make poor choices.
Don't get me wrong. Buddy Hield was a good college player when he played for Oklahoma. He was a good all-around player. He did a couple half-court shots to buzzer beater to win the game in his March Madness. But Buddy hasn't really stood out in the NBA.
Sure. He's also plays for Sacramento.
Well, that's true, 100%. But so does Darren Fox. Darren Fox took it.
Darren...
I mean, when you have...
Put Darren on a good team. I don't know if he's much better or worse than what he currently is doing. Halliburton is the one. All right, forget all the
Halliburton,
players.
yes, I will say that. But also Sabonis on this one is a clutch fourth quarter player.
Even if you take that trade straight up for Halliburton for Sabonis, I still think the Pacers got a way better deal.
Oh, 100% they do.
I got him on a rookie contract
100%.
on his second season.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would just say if I was a Kings fan, and God bless all you Kings fans. I don't know how many are there's. Obviously, there's
I like the Kings when Chris Webber was on there. I loved him because Chris was. Because I felt like that, But look, I feel like that the Kings are in a rebuilding stage.
What a robbery!
I know.
We can't talk about things that happened 20 years ago, but come on.
Oh man, that's so sad. I can't believe that Chris Webber was a very, very good player, and when Michigan, right? He played for Michigan.
Yeah.
He was a Fab Five.
Fab Five.
With Jalen Rose, Howard. Who? We're about to get to Howard in a little bit.
Hey, man, keep your fists on your side.
Yeah. But here's the thing, though, man. When you look at what they have now compared to what they had 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I mean, Sacramento has held up some end of the bargain for themselves. But
David, you're not going to like what I'm about to say.
Yes, I will.
No.
Because the
Kings are the equivalent to the Lions.
You're fired. Go home.
Guys, I'm all done. It was great talking to the internet. I'll see you later at some point.
Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Carson will be here for a while, guys. And this is Carson, by the way,
hey,
just in case if nobody knows.
Hello, internet.
Carson works with my wife.
J. Michael Prime. You guys are not going to know where that's at, but it's in Canton off exit 16. That's all you need to know.
We're in Georgia.
We're in Georgia, by the way, yes.
So on to the next, Anthony Davis. Oh, gosh, man, this guy's more injury-prone than anybody out there. I'm sick and tired of hearing him being on the injured reserve. I think that Anthony Davis needs to slow down a little bit. He was diagnosed with a mild foot sprain. He went in for an MRI. He went down against Utah Jazz, which was a pretty bad fall. I mean, I saw it live. And the Lakers just are not holding their end of the bargain, and we're going to go ahead and get to them. By the way, everybody in the chat is saying, you rock, by the way.
Thank you,
everyone. So, Anthony Davis goes down. I personally feel that Davis is a great player. Don't get me wrong. He really is a good player. Even when he played for the Pelicans, he was great. What? No.
No,
What?
buddy.
Dude, what are you... God. The Pelicans...
You're part of the squad.
My
Let's
bad,
go.
I was talking on something else. My bad.
Okay, he was great. And
Yes.
the greatest thing about what Anthony Davis is now at is he finally won a ring.
He got that out of the way.
Yep, he got it out of the way.
Congratulations.
LeBron,
In a bubble.
Yeah, with LeBron.
Yeah, in a bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't see the Lakers doing anything else.
That's what the Lakers really need to happen, is where they can take 2 months off before the postseason starts. And then, obviously, I would say the Lakers would be one of the hardest teams to knock out. However, with Davis, it's just like we could talk about it. We probably already talked about it. Can't stay on the floor. And when you can't stay on the floor, you can't help your team, obviously.
Nope.
So he's another guy I think we're going to look back as like a guy who wasted a lot of potential. But maybe not to his own detriment, just because you can't stay on the field or on the floor there.
I agree. And we'll get back to the Lakers here just in a little bit, guys. The All-Star weekend. I'm not even going to start off with the dunk contest. This whole All-Star weekend sucked.
I thought the game wasn't too bad itself.
Nah, I don't...
One thing I like is that they played the fourth quarter to a total.
Yeah.
That was cool because there wasn't any interruptions as far as TV breaks down the stretch. You just got to watch it. And I mean, like that LeBron fadeaway. I mean, he was going to take that shot
For
regardless,
Cleveland,
but he nailed it.
It was awesome.
But the Curry show.
50 points.
I'm not saying anything you couldn't go find out on the internet many times over since this game's happened. But Curry was the price of admission for that game. I mean, when he shot it from half court after making 3 or 4 in a row, I thought it was going in.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah.
I really did too. But here's the thing, though. So Steph gets 50 points, 16 3-pointers, wins the Kobe Bryant Award. R.I.P. to Kobe. That was
Honestly,
a hard one.
Towns winning the 3-point contest
Was the most impressive thing.
unbelievable.
I know.
And during the game, he's just knocking down threes like it's no big deal. Like, hey, I do this for a living, basically. Like,
I mean,
very impressive. Very impressive.
I take this 3-point contest. I didn't think that Karl Anthony Towns was even going to have an opportunity to even win it. He's a big man. He's a big guy. But he wanted to prove to everybody, hey, look, big men can shoot threes too just as well. Now, when you look at the skill challenge, Evan Mobley, who's a rookie, dude's phenomenal.
Great. I love
Darius
Cleveland's.
Garland.
I love Cleveland's nucleus right now.
Yes.
If I was LeBron, I would be saying the same thing.
I would be going back.
Yeah, I would be
I got
going back
Evan
'cause
Mobley, who's a young stud who I
Garland.
can teach. Oh, my God.
Who's the other guy with the big puffy hair on that team? He's really good. He was on the All-Star team.
I got his rookie.
Sorry, internet.
Yeah, I got
You
his
know,
rookie
like,
card.
you-
I can't remember.
I don't see anything in front of me. Sometimes a little tough, but I know who. You guys know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's...
So you got that core right there, and then you put LeBron.
And his son Bronny might want to go play too. I mean, he said he wants to go wherever his son is.
What I heard is more like wherever they draft Bronny is where you're going to get LeBron.
I
You want me to
think...
tell you what happened to LeBron and why he probably won't win another ring?
Why do you say that? Well, I already know.
I think because he's just he thought that he could bring on all this stuff on his plate. And he's just got a lot to worry about. He's invested in a lot. He owns soccer teams. He's doing this. He's worried about when his son's going to join the NBA. He's already thinking in the future. You got to think in the now. I feel like when you want to win championships, I just think that his mind wasn't in it after, by the time he even came to the Lakers. And I do remember watching all on TV a couple of guys saying that it's not a good move for him, and he's doing it because it's more of like for him, to benefit him. It's not, it's not anything for the Lakers. It's for the market himself.
Right. No. Like, I do agree with that 100%. But we'll see what happens coming in. I mean, we do got a couple other topics on that when we get to the conferences, the East and West Conference. But Chad Cunningham, #1 draft pick from the Pistons.
Should have got Mobley.
I was just thinking the same thing. But here's the thing about Cunningham, though. He's a 6'9" point guard. Who the
Very
hell can
nice.
guard a 6'9" point guard? All I got to do is just drive the lane on you every single time if you're 6 foot. He's got handles. He's got a three-pointer. He's got a good little mid-range jump shot.
All you want them in their first year is to show a little bit of what they can be. Like, if you're banking on your rookie to win you a title, that's not ever going to be the case.
Absolutely, I agree.
But you need him to show you a little something, and if he's doing it, that's awesome.
Yep.
That's all you can ask, like, you never know. Like, I don't have a great comp right now, but I know there's plenty of guys, like, after pick 15 in the first round have done great things in the league.
I agree. Last but not least, but guys, before we go on break, the dunk contest. Obi Toppin.
Boo.
Yeah, that was flipping terrible. What the hell?
He gets the distinction of winning the worst contest of all time.
Yes. But I got to say this, though. I really want to bring this up because I think this is what I want to see next year. I want to see Giannis Antetokounmpo. I want to see Ja Morant. No.
No, you got to show them the money.
You don't have to do that.
It's so, like, those guys just don't want to do it.
I get it. But
I
would
grew up
love
with
to
Jordan
see...
Wilkins.
Yes, no. Because they're
star
competitors,
power,
though. But they're competitors. They want to win.
But
that's
that
the
contest
problem.
is never going to be as good until they got that type of player in there.
Why wouldn't you want to compete at the highest mark on the show, the dunk contest? You're the greatest dunker, right? So here we go. John Morant, Giannis, Miles Bridges. You saw Miles Bridges.
I saw Miles.
That guy can yoke out of.
I like the Thunder dunks, man. I'm a big fan.
It's phenomenal.
No, don't get me wrong. There's probably plenty of great players out there that would be great in that.
Yeah.
However, they don't want to do it. You got to incentivize. You got to do something to get those guys in there to get eyeballs on it. I mean,
give me Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon back.
That was a great one, but even then, I wasn't thinking like, oh, I got the best players in the league. They just happened to put on a great show. The last guy,
but Zach took off. Zach literally took off
last guy
in the back with the. That was
one of your all-time favorites. Vince Carter.
Well, hold on now. We're gonna talk. Vince is one of the greatest players, one of the greatest dunkers to ever play the game. And if anybody wants to argue with me on this, go right ahead.
David's
Vince
gonna get flustered.
No. Vince Carter. Let me just explain to everybody. Vince Carter, 64 minutes, the most ever. That guy literally held Toronto with T-Mac. Before T-Mac got there, he was the guy. He was the stud. He still is the stud. The guy played till he was 45 years old.
Just like anything in life. Gotta have a little patience. If you just waited it out for T-Mac to get his bearings, that team would have been dominant.
But here's the thing about T-Mac. What I wanted to see with Tracy McGrady is I wanted to see Tracy be the all-star on one team. And that was probably the best route that he could have gone, was to go to Houston. I mean, he
went to Orlando first, and then he...
But Hardaway took all of that from him.
No, he went with Grant Hill.
Sorry, yes, Grant Hill took over because Grant Hill was the star.
Though. So Grady he flashed, and then he got over to Houston. And that's when he played with Yao Ming.
Yeah, but then Hill went up to the Pistons.
Big dude.
Yeah, super big, 7'5", wouldn't even be able to.
No big deal.
Yo, hang on.
Hey,
someone in the chat. Hang on, I'm just gonna say off the chat real quick. Willie Mark, what's going on, bud? Thank you for tuning in, man. We appreciate it.
What's up, Willie?
He says, Spartan banners. Oh, you want a Spartan banner on my wall? Is that what you want? It would create some balance? You're absolutely right. I do agree with that. I just am waiting for my banner to come in. It's still getting worked on, man. It's still getting worked on. Mosley is what Jim is saying.
For what?
That's what he's saying.
Oh, Mosey Bose. Yes, okay. I said this earlier to David. It wasn't on this recording.
Yeah, it wasn't on the show. We were talking.
But, yeah, that also helps. I either want star power in there or smaller guys, because the smaller guys, their dunks look so much more incredible.
John Morant.
Morant would
Give
be
me Morant.
the man to do that.
But I think that Miles Bridges would win, though.
You got to throw some real incentive for these boys to go in there and really do it.
Well, what's his name? Magic Johnson was saying, I want to see LeBron James, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kevin Durant, and there was one other, and he'll give $1 million to the winner if they do it. I think the other one, I can't remember who the other one was. There was one more guy, and I can't remember who it was, but he said if he would give those 4, whoever would win, he'd give him $1 million. I don't think that LeBron would win it, though. I honestly don't think that he would win it.
Heather, I don't know if Booker's quite the guy that you're looking for.
None in the dunk contest. But I will say this, though.
3-point contest.
3-point contest, and in the All-Star game, he played really well in the All-Star game. It's awesome. I mean, it's super amazing to watch these guys play. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and just take a quick little 10-minute break. We will be back. We are going to talk about the Eastern Western Conference of basketball. Then we're going to get into our top 10 players. All right, guys, we'll talk to y'all in a little bit. We'll be back in 10. Make sure she doesn't come in. She's not allowed in. All right, Sports Mafia fans, we are back again. Here we go. Going to the Eastern Conference Finals. Not the finals. Not the finals, right?
No, we're not there yet.
Oh, man, I'm ready for basketball to hurry up and get to the damn playoffs.
We don't want the playoffs, but
I want it so bad.
We got a little, or gotta see where people land here.
Yep, absolutely. So we got Miami. They're 40-21. They're number one. Then you got the Bulls right underneath that are 39-22, which the Bulls with DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, they're looking really good. DeMar, MVP. Hands down.
He's definitely in the conversation at this point. My personal pick right now is still Jokic, the Joker.
Yeah? You think Joker? Okay.
He's holding a team down that has Michael Porter Jr. out and Jamal Murray. They're both scheduled to come back before the playoffs start. I mean, he's doing a wonderful job. He's such a great facilitator. He can get buckets when he needs it. He can hit the three. That guy, to me, is the MVP. Now, the thing is, with most MVP, he's won one. Media loves to reward new people with it.
Yep.
So
I agree.
I would say he's my MVP, but I could see someone like DeRozan maybe jumping out there if he can keep that up.
Yep.
I think it's Embiid to lose at this point.
Really?
Yeah. I
mean, then you look at Philly. Philly's number 3. They just got Harden, though, so we'll see where they fall here shortly. Cleveland's there, number 4, 36-24. Milwaukee, you won the finals last year, and you're 36-25.
That's all right. They're in great shape.
Yeah, but Bobby Porter is stepping up. I mean, he just hit a big 3 for them to, against...
You got Giannis.
Yeah. Giannis, I'm telling you, Giannis...
It's not fair how he plays basketball. It's like playing NBA Live or 2K, whatever you want to call it these days.
I think Giannis is going to be one of the best players to play in the NBA.
Oh, 100%.
I mean,
100%.
1,000%.
I think when it's all said and done, he'll be up there as considered one of the all-time greats. He's not there yet, but he's there. He's projected to be there.
We'll get on the top 10.
I know. I'm trying to bite my tongue a little bit here.
Yeah, I know you are. Then you got number 6, you got Boston. Then you got Toronto at 7. You got the Brooklyn Nets at 8. Then you got the Charlotte Hornets, which is one of the most electrifying team to watch right now. They're the funnest to me to watch. And then you got the Hawks at number 10. Then right below there, you got the Washington Wizards, the New York Knicks, the Pacers, Detroit, and the Magics. Detroit and the Magics are fighting for last place right now.
I will say the only thing about the Magic that's cool as I went down to the Amway Center to watch Tool play 2 weeks ago. What an incredible arena they have. It is phenomenal. I love the seats there, the ambience and everything. And then you put that squad there.
Yeah.
And that arena deserves any of the other teams above them.
I agree. But I mean, they do have Cole Anthony. Cole Anthony is a blowout.
I know you're a big guy on him.
I am. I like Cole Anthony and all.
He's 17 points a game, and if you look at it, that's his highest scorer.
Well,
and he's like the 48th best scorer in the league.
But he's not fully developed.
That's great, and neither is the rest of the team.
Well, Suggs is coming in too. I mean, Suggs from Gonzaga, he's there as well. They're both trying to fulfill their roles and figure out what they need to do. But the Magics need to start looking at a 4 and a 5 instead of trying to get all these young studs that are court generals, number 2 spots, doing this and doing that. When you take the Magic and you see what they have now, they only have two players that are just running the 1 and 2.
You bring in 3 or 4 guys that are veterans that know how to handle a league.
Right.
Mentors.
No.
They don't have that guy.
No.
And look, they've won 14 games.
I mean, Pistons, Chad.
Their winning percentage is
Right.
.230.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
I mean, Caden Cunningham is, starting to develop a little bit more. I would like to see him step out just a little bit more. But again, it's difficult to watch your teams play, and they're in dead last for most part.
Well, you know what? I'm just looking at the standings right here. It's like, what happened to the Knicks? They had a great run last year.
Yeah.
And
Randall wants the ball more.
I guess reality just came back. They just came back to reality.
I mean, RJ Barrett scored 40, highest ever.
The Hawks disappoint me quite a bit.
Yep. The Hawks disappoint.
Trae Young is, I mean,
the best point guard in the league, I believe, as well.
I wouldn't maybe say he's the best point guard, but man,
Top 5.
you know what the NBA really needed was a villain.
Yeah.
And that guy loves to play the role.
Yeah.
I'm not even. I moved down here. I'm not saying I'm a big Hawks fan, but man,
Sure, I'm a Trae Young fan.
I'm a big Trae Young fan, and I would love to see that guy succeed. I'm a little confused why they're 10 right now. But really, what I think we all want to see is somehow where Philly lines up with Brooklyn, and we can settle this all right away.
Absolutely, I agree. Moving on to the Western Conference. Number 1 is Phoenix. Let's go Devin Booker, Chris Paul. Let's do it.
Chris, he's on the bench. He's on the sidelines
he's
for a
hurt.
little bit.
Yeah, he's hurt.
But you know what? Better get that injury out of the way.
Now than later.
Yeah.
But
He'll be rested.
But Devin is stepping up more.
Devin is, yeah. He's a great player.
Same with Bridges. Bridges is stepping up as well. The whole
That
team
would not be 49 wins in the season if the team around him wasn't great.
I agree.
Paul's awesome. Don't get me wrong. It's the reason why he's called the point guard.
Yep.
Point god.
I mean, that guy has great handles, but Steph Curry did cross him up a little bit, on that baseline.
Sure.
Shovel, that was it was nice. But here's
Curry
the thing.
can make anyone look bad.
That's right. Yeah, true. But here's the thing that about Chris Paul that is different from Curry. Curry wants to jack up shots. Right? I'm not saying that he's going to jack them all up. But what I mean by that is he's not a pass first type of guy. He's more of a let me create space and let me see what I can do. As in Chris Paul creates the space and sees the open guy. He is the definition of a court general. I mean, that's what you would love to see. I mean, Spud Webb, you saw him do it. Jason Kidd, Williams, White Chocolate, Steve Nash. Court generals.
Court general.
Yeah.
No, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah. Then you got Golden State right underneath them, number 2. Memphis Grizzlies with John Morant. Then you got Utah. Devin Mitchell came back. Okay. Devin's looking pretty good. He's not looking too bad. Then you got Dallas Mavericks. Luka.
What's the thing about Utah? Great regular season team.
Great, but never a finishing team.
And I don't see it this year either.
Nope. They're a great team to be around it.
I'm looking at this list. I love the Memphis story.
Mm-hmm. I do too.
They remind me a little bit of the Bengals that just happened.
Yeah.
Young, up and coming.
Yeah.
Might make a run at it.
Mm-hmm. Second
I
year.
don't think they're going to get there, but I think that they'll make it maybe to the title game. Yep. The Western Conference title. But
Denver's looking nice. They're number 6.
I'd love for him to prove me wrong.
Yeah. Minnesota's looking good too at number 7.
Mm-hmm.
LA Clippers, number 8. I mean, Kawhi just took that injury. I mean,
I think Kawhi and Paul back. I mean,
Paul George. They both went down pretty much at the same time. But Paul George is like when I was watching him last year in the conference and in the playoffs, he did a lot of push-off shots. I mean, just like James Harden does his stupid little, I'm going to take 2 steps to get to the 3-point line and shoot. The refs don't call anything. I take 75% of James Harden's passes and I cut them out. I will cut out James Harden shots for sure. I mean,
I just think if you get Kawhi and Paul back, anything can happen. It's the same with the Lakers.
Yep.
If they get full strength and LeBron can put it together for 4 playoff rounds.
Yep.
You never know with that guy, man. He's proved us wrong time and time out.
Well, here's the next thing of LeBron. They're number 9.
Not looking too good right now, that's for sure.
Well, you got a bunch of superstars on the damn team that want the ball. Mm-hmm. You have way too many superstars. Your starting 5 is filled with top 20, top 10 players.
That Westbrook deal was...
Well, here's the thing. Westbrook is a fantastic player. But you can't put him with a bunch of veterans like Carmelo, AD, LeBron, himself. You can't do it.
No, where Westbrook needs to be is on Orlando. Teams like that. The Rockets.
Yes.
Where they don't have a true guy. And like, just let him go do his thing. And maybe he gets you close to a playoff nod. But I think his days as far as being a guy that's going to help you win a title is gone.
Well,
unfortunately.
I personally do feel...
Because I really love that guy's effort.
Right. I mean, I'm looking at the Los Angeles Lakers right now. They're not going to do anything. They're not. There's just no way for Los Angeles.
LeBron traded his team away.
Yeah. You're an idiot.
Hey, but he got a title out of it.
He did, but he's not going to get another one with the team that he has.
That's understandable, but that's the whole reason you make a trade is to get a title.
True.
So you gotta say that the trade was successful, although it might leave you in disarray afterwards, which is definitely, and I can see why you'd want to go back to Cleveland.
Absolutely. Then you got New Orleans at number 10. Zion.
Lately.
Zion. Where are you, Zion? Hello. What the hell's going on, bro?
Someone get a pulse on that guy.
What are you doing? Get your ass in the gym. Get set up. Get ready to go. He was supposed to be the top prospect. Everyone was telling everybody, oh yeah, this guy from Duke, he's going to be better than LeBron James. No, he's not going to be better than anybody. I'll tell you what he is going to be better than is he's beating himself. Because he's not in the gym working out. He's not going to see his doctors regularly for that knee. I think it was his knee.
Yeah, he wants to get out of there.
Knee. But...
which is pretty unheard of for a guy in his third year to be like, hey, I don't want to work with you no more.
Well, hi, Ben Simmons Jr. How you doing today?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's
probably a trend that's going to continue happening.
Yeah. And Jim, thank you for bringing this up, Jim. I do agree 100%. Westbrook is the best individual player that we will ever see. Nobody thought that we would see anyone averaging a triple-double every game. He is the king of triple-doubles. I mean, I personally have always said that Westbrook is one of the greater players. I thought that he was better than Durant and Harden when he played. I thought he was better than Harden down there in Houston. I thought that he was better than Durant at the Thunder.
I'll go halfway with you.
Okay, let me hear it.
Durant's the man.
He is.
Durant is the man.
He is, but he suffered that Achilles injury. Hasn't really shown much. He did show much when he played last in the finals. I will say that.
Well, he almost got him to the finals. Like,
but he just couldn't clutch it.
This injury, like a lot of things here we keep talking about.
You are the top 10 player of all time, and that's where we're going to go right here, guys, to the top 10 players of all time.
Buckle up.
This is going to be a good one. So, me and Carson, we went ahead and we listed the top 10 players of all time. Now, mine is a little more new school. His is a lot of old school. So...
that's what happens when you turn 40.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead with my first, and then you go next.
All right.
My number one is Michael Jordan.
No doubt.
Michael Jordan's a GOAT.
No doubt.
He's the greatest of all time. There's just no competitive.
The GOAT. I have no arguments, no rebuttal, no crossing opinion. Jordan is the man. If you don't know about him, or you're somehow someone who didn't get a chance to grow up with him, just watch The Last Dance. Go watch YouTube videos.
Yeah.
It's not even that his physical ability. It's so much that his mentality as a killer is...
his trash talking was the best, too.
It's up there. You know, a very underrated trash talker is definitely Larry Bird.
Yeah. I mean, he did say that Bird did get in his head more than anybody.
Bird, he talked a lot of trash.
Yeah.
I love it. I love good character about sports professional players. I want the flair as well if you got it. As long as you're doing it in a way that's not a detriment to your team. That's why Kobe goes down.
This is where we're going to disagree. I got Kobe Bryant at number 2. I got Kobe. Kobe was hard because I wanted to put him at number 1 so bad. But I didn't want everybody that is watching this to pull me aside and say, you're an idiot.
I don't think you're an idiot.
You
for
think that
having him
Kobe
there.
Bryant
He's definitely
is
a top
better
10
than
player.
Michael Jordan? Absolutely, I think Kobe Bryant is better than Michael Jordan because of two reasons. His work ethic was better. He's in the gym first. He's the last one to go. When people showed up inside the gym, he stayed because he wanted them to know that I am the best. I'm a workhorse. I'm here to take over. Kobe is the most clutch player out of everybody in our group.
I say he's the best clone of the number one right there.
Okay. Who's your number two, my man?
Listen, when you start talking about all times, you got to put things in perspective. It's hard to judge eras. It's hard to judge, especially someone I didn't actually get to see play.
Yep.
But my number two would be Bill Russell. Strictly on the numbers. Strictly that he won 8 titles. I mean, what a
No one ever
beast.
talks about that. I mean, if we're talking strictly rings, Bill Russell.
Russell would still be a phenomenal player in the league today. He was a great facilitator, great around the rim.
Yep.
For just the things I've seen, guys, that's why it's
was a
hard.
leader.
Like, if I had an all-time list of
Yeah.
players that I've actually seen in my life, he obviously wouldn't be on the list, but I think his body of work definitely gets him number 2, in my opinion.
Yep. Now remember, guys, mine's a little more new school, moderate. You know what I mean? He's old school, I'm new school type. I got number 3 for the best shooter of all time. And a lot of people can argue, Reggie Miller, Ray Allen. But I got Steph Curry as number 3. I mean, again, mine is more new school. Because I didn't grow up watching some of these guys. Guys, I'm only 30 years old. I was born in 91. I'm a 90s baby. Mm-hmm. But when I watched Michael when he played for the Wizards, when he palmed the ball and faked the shot and the guy turned around and he looked at him and was like, "You're an idiot. I shot the 3 and he made it." That right then and there really proved that Michael Jordan was number 1. But I got Steph Curry at 3.
I mean, who's to say? I mean, he's still got a lot of his career ahead of him. Mm-hmm. He could definitely climb up this list. Now, number 3, it's hard for me to put him above some of the guys that really shook the league and changed it to where it is. Yep. And that's where my 3 is at. And it starts with Magic. Magic is Showtime. Magic came in as a rookie, took over for Kareem, won a title.
Yep. I agree. I love your list, man. I love your damn list, though. No, I'm a Wolverine boy. I'm not even... I love your list. I just really just want to say that before we get to your number 8 spot. I just really want to say it.
Listen, guys.
But Magic, yes. Magic, I can see Magic being that he was one of the best court. I will give him top 10 point guard for sure of all time. I will.
He's a prototype for what the league's looking for right now.
Yeah, I agree.
He won, 5 titles?
Yeah.
4 titles?
4 or 5.
Dominant in the 80s. Mm-hmm. It's with him and Bird, basically, in my
Had
opinion.
to leave because of some personal issues, I know everybody knows. I don't have to say it out loud.
No. Very shocking day. I actually still remember the day when he announced that he had HIV.
Yeah, that was rough, man, yeah.
Because that was back in the day, we didn't have much information on the HIV, and to have someone that, like a flipping hero like Johnson to get it was kind of really shaking.
Number 4 for me, best dunker of all time. 64 minutes still holding. Nobody else has been able to compare to him. Vince Carter. I got to do it. I mean, even in games. I mean, when he played on the Olympic level, he dunked over that 7'1" dude with no problem.
Great
and he
dunk.
flexed. And you just see him just so impact and so powerful. But then when he went to the Nets, he got that Achilles injury. And he has not been the same. But when he played for Atlanta for his last year, for his 25,000 points, he did that 360 dunk. And that brought back a lot of memories for people. I mean...
he's the greatest dunk competition guy of all time.
I got to say that he's the best.
I know everyone remembers him dunking his hand in through the hoop, but the one I really enjoyed when he did that was the reverse 360.
Even Jim says Sean Kemp.
Sean Kemp, don't get me going.
Yep. Who's your number 4?
My number 4 is Larry Bird. Toe-to-toe with Magic. Now, you got to keep in mind that modern technology for health isn't quite what it is back then, and knowledge about nutrition wasn't the same thing. So Bird didn't get to play a lot, but if you go watch him play, his will to win, his ability to dish, it's not even counting like how great he was as far as a shooter.
Yeah. Whew.
But we're just talking about all the intangibles that he brought to the table.
He had a beautiful shot.
Oh, he had an
amazing,
phenomenal one.
Oh, it was.
He's another guy. If you put him
He's
in
still
the
got
league
it.
now.
He's almost in his 60s, and he still can shoot like no other.
I mean, you put him in the league now, he's dropping 30 a game.
Yeah. Well, when I was watching him play, I think it's either his daughter or his granddaughter or something like that. He was playing with her, and he was still hitting threes from 40, 45 feet out. Hardly even jumping.
Yeah. Bird to me is just an all-time winner.
Yeah.
Played with my definition of like how basketball really should be played is facilitating and moving the ball. And you watch the 87 Celtics, I mean, you won't see anything better than that team as far as passing and getting to the hoops.
Absolutely.
They lost one home game that entire season on 87 to the Portland Trailblazers.
Yep.
That's it.
Was that when Rasheed Wallace was a rookie then?
I think she came a little after that.
Came in after?
Yeah, I would say he's more early 90s type of guy.
Jim said that Seth Curry would squash Larry Bird in a three-point contest. Do you believe that?
No.
Not at all.
Are
we playing... if we play horse, yes. I think Curry's got him. But we're talking about back then.
We're talking about a league that didn't accept the three-point even the line itself until like the early 80s.
80s, yeah.
That
like
wasn't part of the game.
Yeah.
It just wasn't part of the game. But he could nail him. He could definitely shoot it. Curry, personally, to me, is the greatest shooter of all time. I'm not saying that Bird is.
Yep.
But Bird is a winner. It's not that Steph isn't either. I mean, when you're talking top 10, it is a thin line between these guys.
Yeah.
Except for Jordan.
I agree. then number 5, I got Wilt Chamberlain. I got Chamberlain.
I like Wilt.
He was domination.
He was
under
all
the
about
basket.
the stats.
Yeah.
All about the stats. All about the girls.
Yeah, man, dude. Whoo.
That's the kind of numbers I'd like to put up.
I'm happy with the woman I have. I love my wife way too much to think about any other woman, to be honest. But I got Wilt, just because of, the stats that he had, under the rebounds. Shoot, miss, catch, shoot,
my
rebound.
is having Wilt over Bill. Bill took him to school consistently back when they played together.
Well, Bill Russell's hands are the size of almost Kevin Durant's. I mean, Kevin's got a big hand. He's got like mine and yours, half of yours put together.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just big boys. And your number 5 is actually really nice.
Yeah, we got Kareem here at number 5.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
The leading scorer of all time.
Heather says gross, Carson, for the women. She says gross.
Listen, man. Listen.
But that's okay, though. You like what you like. He
put up stats in a different way.
He did. But back to what we were talking about. You got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the hook shot master. I mean, I loved seeing him.
I mean, the sky hook is the most unguardable shot of all time.
And no one has been able to perfection it.
No one tries hooks at all. This guy hit it.
Yeah.
Routine 30 a game.
Now they run and just shoot it sideways.
Many champions.
Yep. I mean, when you looked at...
his run in UCLA when he came up, they didn't lose a game with him and what's his name, Bill Walton.
Yep.
He's got to be considered one of the greatest. I know he's not flashy. I know his personality is a little dull, and it really hurts him in there. Because honestly, I could easily put Kareem number 3 for me and still be okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. Number 6 for me is Kevin Durant. I can't stress it enough about Kevin. I mean, he is Durantula. I think he's better than LeBron. I really honestly think he's better than LeBron. I don't think LeBron is the best player of all time. I don't think that he even should be top 5. But hey, everybody else, opinion. But I just don't see it for LeBron. I mean, I think that Kevin Durant is number 6. And the reason why I think that Kevin is number 6 is because he's more clutch. He was way more clutch when he played for Golden State. He was way more clutch when he played at the Thunder. He was clutch last year in the playoffs when he had absolutely nobody and he was a one-man wrecking team. I mean, 50 points every game in the playoffs. That to me is more amazing than LeBron.
Well, that's funny because I got LeBron 6 here.
Yeah, you got LeBron number 6.
Yes, I do.
And we're going to have this conversation.
We need to talk about the body of work with this guy.
And we're waiting until you go to number 8.
Yeah, right. Guys, if I really wanted to get under David's skin, I would have just excluded Kobe, but I couldn't do it. I was trying, but I couldn't do it.
But you have LeBron at 6.
Yes.
You have LeBron James at number 6. Why do you have LeBron at 6?
I mean, how many titles did you get
It doesn't matter about the titles. It matters about the person. Now, I will say this, though. LeBron is a fantastic person off the court. What he did with the Promise School for everybody in Ohio, and you also get a scholarship to go to Akron, Ohio, that's phenomenal.
You got that spotlight on you since you were 16 years old.
Yep.
And to not really fuck it up and being like a little bossy around people. Sorry, screwed it up.
You're okay.
I mean, to handle that pressure, to make as many titles, championship games, and winning titles, he really changed the league how we see it these days with the player empowerment. He started it. I mean, the decision was obviously one of the craziest things I've ever seen in sports. By the way, not a great look for him. If anything gets held back on it, maybe don't go over national TV and tell the team you're leaving. Hold them in suspense. That's how you get your jersey burned.
That's why I take LeBron and put him out of the conversation. But I couldn't put him out of the conversation, though.
Well, then
that's
why I would have.
Because I got LeBron with the scores. I mean, I got him with the rings. I got him with what he's done. But here's the thing, though. LeBron needs other veteran players. Like when he couldn't win at Cleveland, he had to go down to South Beach and get 4 actually. Him, Mario Chalmers, Wade, and you have Chris Bosh. And you have Helms at that point, too. So you have to go and stick and make a flippin' super team just to bring your... No, absolutely not. LeBron is not the king. LeBron is absolutely not. Kevin Durant did it with only 2 people on his side, and he also did it with one person with Steph Curry.
No.
Klay Thompson, too.
Let's not sleep on Draymond here. He's so important to how you would play a small ball. He can guard 1 to 5. It opens the floor up, and it's great when you have the best 2 shooters ever on your team.
I'd give Draymond Green coming off the bench. Yeah, I would get him coming off the bench. I wouldn't even give him that.
Oh, my goodness.
I wouldn't even give Draymond anything. Because hear me out. I will say that Green is a rebound machine. Yes, I give him that. Cool. We haven't seen that since Dennis Rodman. He is a rebound machine.
I'd say it's more to his ability to guard all the positions on the floor at his height. That's how you play a small ball.
But can he get the number 1 point guards in the league? Can he guard John Morant on a crossover?
I'm not saying
can guard
like a John Morant. No, he's in trouble there. But everyone's in trouble when you're guarding someone like Morant.
Absolutely. Number 7 for me is Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think this guy is going to be the best player on this list. I don't think he's going to be better than Michael Jordan, but I will say that he will be top 3 in the conversation. The guy is lanky. The guy can move for how big he is. He's quick. He's fast. He knows the game already. When he came into the league, he had a little bit of hiccups because he was young. A lot of us, when we are young, we think we know everything. We think we can handle everything. But it wasn't until he finally started to look and say, why can't I play like that? Why can't I play like LeBron? Why can't I play like Curry? And guess what? He's proving that he can single-handedly take a team by himself. He only had Chris Middleton. He only had Bobby Portis.
I know.
I mean, he did it by himself.
I think when it's said and done, we bring this list up in another, 6-7 years.
Yep.
He might be warranted. It's just more or less that he hasn't. He's still probably kind of right in the middle of his career right now. So
yeah. I mean, this is his 5th year, I think.
Potentially, that's a great spot for him. I don't know right at the moment. I would have him over some of the guys, but I get it.
Yeah. Your number 7.
And he has a crazy last name that I'm never going to try to pronounce here.
Antetokounmpo.
That's impressive.
Antetokounmpo. Dude, I've been, like, ever since he came into the league, I've been announcing it to myself in my head like 50 million times. Your number 7
Mine's Tim Duncan.
is Tim. I love it. I
That's
think
Mr.
I
Fundamentals
love
here.
it, man. Even though he's on my list, but he's not, But I do like Tim Duncan.
Yeah, he's...
David Robinson, too. I mean, hey.
We want to start, if we're going to start breaking down guys' personality, then Tim Duncan's moving up that list.
He is calm and collective.
Mm-hmm.
He's like jazz. As in, everybody else on our list is
he's going to get you a double-double in every
Yep.
game at least.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that,
Yep.
he's guaranteed with the bank shot or someone on the low post.
Yes.
Unstoppable.
Jim just said it right there.
Yeah, I mean, like...
Big on fundamentals. You're right.
he was a true craftsman of the game. He totally deserves to be in the top 10. You can even have him a little higher, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He won.
I would have him
won
fifth-ish.
many titles.
Yeah.
Had an awesome team with Parker and Ginobili.
Yeah.
To me, like, Duncan is
Yeah.
one of the... You start thinking about, like, the last 20 years of basketball, and if Duncan's not in your top 5 from that last 20-year stretch, I don't think you've been watching a ton in that sense.
I don't even think I even want to have a conversation with that person, period. If Tim Duncan's not in your top 10.
Yeah.
I don't even think I even want to have that conversation.
No, he's phenomenal. I mean, like, he's not the most flashy guy, not a guy that's going to go talk, not going to talk crap about his teammates. And like I said, that to me, that matters a lot. That is keeping a cohesive, making your team a lot better.
I agree.
Just through his leadership and the fact that you could give him the ball down the stretch and you know good things are going to happen.
Yep. My number 8, I like him off the court because of what he did for those people. I really do. I love what he did for Ohio. LeBron James. Now, if I had the money to do it, I would do exactly what LeBron is doing with his Promise School. I do love him off the court. On the court, I think you're a big baby. You run up to the West, what? I didn't, what? He fouled me, what? He touched me, what? He did. No. LeBron, shut the hell up. Play the damn game, get it over with, hurry up and retire, let somebody else take over the throne. Let Giannis Antetokounmpo just walk on in and just sit his little happy self down because you know Giannis is going to be the next best thing. Your number 8, your 6 is my 8.
Yes.
Your 8 is my number 2. Go ahead and announce who your number 8 is.
Oh, I really was trying to find many ways I could bury him a little further, but I couldn't.
This is bullshit.
I got Kobe at 8.
Astonishing. You have Kobe Bryant at number 8.
Yes.
Why do you put Kobe at number 8 for what he has done?
No, he was...
How do you put him at number 8?
He's the best imitation of Michael Jordan of all time. Clearly.
Put at number 8?
That guy left 2 or 3 titles on the table when he decided to get in a squat with Shaq.
But why did he leave that?
He's not known as a...
Because
great
Shaq
teammate.
thought he was better. Shaq was the worst teammate. Shaq was the worst half. And Shaq even said it himself that he was the worst half. Kobe Bryant at number 8?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Totally fine with that.
And he can sleep at night with Kobe Bryant at number 8.
I can definitely sleep at night with Kobe being
I'm
8.
not going to be able to sleep at night.
I mean, we all know how great it was to watch Kobe.
Yeah.
He put 81 against the Toronto Raptors one day. I mean, that's effing crazy in this day and age.
Yeah.
Um,
Before he was going out.
But
I thought he was going to put up 110, to be honest.
my reasoning more or less is that although he's one of the all-timers as far as skill, not necessarily one of the greatest teammates in the world, and I do think that needs to factor in at some point. And R.I.P. man, it was one of the saddest days I've been alive for.
Yeah, that's rough. Jim literally just said he's got Kobe at number 13.
I'm not too upset with that.
I want to know why. Jim, put the reasoning why you have Kobe at 13. I want to know this. My wife, Carson, go home, because you put him so low. Jim says Shaq was first to win a title after Kobe's backup. Yes.
That's true.
Yeah, that is true.
2006.
My number 9.
Horrible officiated series, by the way.
Yes. My number 9 is your number 7, Tim Duncan. We already talked about it.
Yeah.
Go ahead with your number 9.
9 for me. I mean, it's weird. You could put Elgin Baylor, Jerry West, but I didn't get a chance to see those
Allen
guys.
Iverson, you know what I mean?
Guys like that. But I got Curry just in the fact that he is the best shooter I've ever seen in my entire life. There's no doubt about it. The guy's a proven winner.
Yeah.
He is incredibly fun to watch. I love guys that cut. I love guys that make great passes. He's a great ball handler. I'm never disappointed with Curry. I never will be. It's funny. I watched him in the tournament because I was going to talk about like college basketball and like how I don't really like it as much anymore. But when I got a chance to see him in there, you kind of had a feeling that he was special. Or at least you wanted to see him in the league and see what he was going to do.
I agree.
He's definitely one of those guys. I feel like in the top 10 to shape the game, and I mean, all modern basketball from basically 4 or 5 years ago is credit to him.
So. Heather says, why isn't Allen Iverson on the list? It was a tough one, I'm not going to lie. It really, really, really was tough not to put him in that conversation. But for me, it's because he never won a title.
He didn't win a title.
In his trouble on and off the court.
He could score the best of them, but that doesn't really mean that doesn't always equate to winning. And
Jim Carl Malone, too.
He didn't play in great. Malone was great.
Right.
He had the situation. Malone, to me, probably should have got a little more out of what he had.
Yeah. I mean, but he did have that situation with that lady, though. Carl Malone did. I just can't see Allen Iverson because he didn't practice, period. He didn't even come to practice. Like, what the hell are you doing, bro? Like, you're trying to win championships. Yeah. You're trying to get the most money out of possible. When you went over to the Nuggets, Chauncey Billups literally had to beg you to come into practice and play with them. You played your own game. You played street ball games. You weren't there. AI is probably in the top 20.
I would have AI in like the top 20.
Yes, Jim, thank you.
More closer to like 15 to 20 in that range if you want to put him even that high.
I got it. Yeah, I understand.
Great ball player. Don't get me wrong. When we're talking top 10, I mean, we're talking the best 10 players that ever played the game, and this game's been going on for 50, 70 years, 60 years.
75 years.
Yeah, so like, it's not, I'm not going to sit here and badmouth AI. He was awesome to watch. He brought in definitely a street cred to basketball, which has really opened up a lot of things. He said, I like guys that impacted the league in some way, and he definitely did. But Jim, I would not have him in the top 10 if I was trying to win something.
Yep. Jim just said, are we talking about practice, not the game? Yeah, that was a good quote. Yeah.
What you need to do is actually watch that interview, though. But after saying the famous lines, practice, he goes into a tangent about life, and it is
phenomenal.
It's awesome. If you haven't seen that,
it's a deep thing, man. Yeah,
it's really cool, man. Like, that guy's very deep. He was even on the All-Star game, and he's just a very humble guy right now.
I met him in Vegas, actually.
Oh, no doubt.
I'll tell you a funny story. I met him at the blackjack table, and he was sitting there, and I walked over. I was walking through, and I said, hey, man, you're Allen Iverson. He goes, stands up, shakes my hand. He says, yeah, pleasure meeting you. And he sat right back down. He didn't say, yeah, man, whatever, get out of here, like everybody else has done to me. He is probably one of the most humble people I've ever met. Along with, and a lot of people, excuse me, the weirdest thing is everyone says that he's an asshole, is Floyd. I mean, I met Floyd at a car dealership because a friend of mine wanted to drive in and go to the luxury dealership, and there was like GMC Tahoes pulling in. It looked like the FBI was going in.
Right.
But we get there, and there's Floyd, and I walked over, I said, man, this is a Mercedes McLaren. He goes, yeah, man, I have to buy it back from them. He took that Mercedes McLaren to the Super Bowl when they were playing Arizona and the Steelers, and he kept nudging me. We were having fun. He had like $1 million in his hand. He's holding it like a damn baby. Put it on the red Aston Martin. We started nudging each other. All of a sudden, these shadows came. And I was like, it got dark, and I turned around, and I was right in this guy's crotch area, and I looked up, and there was this 7-foot big bull. He was like a farm dude.
Yeah.
And he goes, nobody touches Mr. Mayweather. And I said, oh.
Right.
And Mayweather goes, no, man, he's good. We sat there and talked a little bit longer, but he's humble. But back to basketball.
Yes.
I'm number 10. Number 10, Shaquille O'Neal. I had to put Big Shaq Diesel. I had to put him in there. I had to. I mean, he's won rings with Kobe. He's played all over Orlando, Miami.
He's one without him.
He played LA. He played in Cavaliers. I mean, I had to put Shaq.
I'll conveniently forget they play for Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix too.
Celtics
as well. Yep, thank you. I forgot a little bit about that, but I think, yes, I was starting to remember when he played with Nash. Yes. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, I had to put Shaq in there just because of what he does off the court as well for other people. I mean, the guy is a multi-millionaire. I mean, I think his network right now is over $1 billion just with what he owns of JCPenney, the big chicken out here in Georgia. I mean, what he does for other people is just amazing. In Florida, he's a police officer, too.
He owns the KFC thing down there, right?
Yeah,
I just heard about that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And your number 10 is my number 6.
10 could be literally anyone, and I kind of put him in our last spot because maybe I think at the end when he's all said and done could be in the top 10. It's just Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
To be 7 foot tall, to be able to hit jumpers in anyone's grill, he's
even that crazy.
He's just an assassin out there. Yeah. You put him on with that Golden State team, and man, like.
Lanky
One of the best
little
teams
guy,
ever, man. Like he definitely will get his due eventually. Yep. But I could have put Shaq here. I could have put Akeem Olajuwon in my opinion. Those are the two other guys I was thinking. But Durant, his skill set is one of a kind, and I
could have put Dwayne Wade there too, but I just didn't see what Dwayne Wade had, you know what I mean, to offer. I mean, yeah, he won 2, but again, I couldn't do Dwayne. Malcolm Butler. What's up with you and Malcolm Butler?
No, you're trying to get under my skin.
What is it? What's it about? Let me
2014.
Okay.
Super Bowl.
Oh my God! Jim, we're over football right now.
I know exactly what he's talking about.
The pick, you literally have Marshawn Lynch. All you had to do was just run the flipping ball, and
no need to remind me.
Don't. I knew he was
one of the worst days of my entire life.
I was trying to figure out why he put Malcolm Butler early on in the chat when we went on break.
I knew exactly what
but I couldn't pinpoint it until you just
said. Hey, Jim, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man, I thought you were friends. What the hell?
No, he's a great friend. That's a good way to rub someone right there.
Yes, sir. Well, look, guys, we're about 30 minutes over time. I got to go ahead and can it now. I really want to stick to, the time that the set time schedules. Next week, or not next week, Wednesday, we're going to get into baseball. On this Wednesday coming up, we're going to get into baseball. We're going to get into hockey, boxing, and MMA. And we're also going to talk about the Olympic scandal that's going on right now, which I kind of want to just table touch a little bit. How are you going to ban somebody for smoking pot where it's legal in Portland, Oregon? And then you also have...
You can do anything you want in Oregon.
Yeah. And then you also have this 15-year-old Russian lady who is taking... these performance enhancement drugs, and you allow her to still compete. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But we'll catch up on that on Wednesday. Carson may or may not be here on Wednesday, guys, but I am going to try and find another special guest. If I don't find another special guest, I will have somebody poach in. But all right, guys, until next time, thank you guys so much.
Bye, Internet.
We will see you guys all later.